Rickki ROXX, and you are listening to ROXX100.com.
The Big Rock.
The Big Rock. Keeping the music alive.
Bon Jovi. Lenny Kravitz.
Hey, all you rockers. This is Johnny J, your host for The Big Rock. Catch me right here on ROXX 100 as we are keeping the music alive, rocking the 70s, 80s, and 90s. The Big Rock on ROXX 100.
Rock. The Big Rock. The Big Rock.
Everything that rocks.
Hey kids, would you like to be a rock god the likes of David Lee Roth in his heyday? Then you need to get the
RIKKI ROXX Rock God Starter Kit.
Each kit comes complete with black nail polish, eyeliner, sparkly scarf, an actual chick magnet, a velvet jacket to make all the girls go wild, and an over-the-hat skull cap with bandana accessory. Act Now will also include a handy booklet showing you all the best places to wear your sunglasses at night. Regularly a $29.95 value, now yours free when you take advantage of this fabulous offer. But don't act just yet. We'll also throw in a wall poster chart diagramming all the best rock faces to enchant your audience, proven to wet the ladies' panties in mere seconds. For all you newbies, this great kit also includes a CD demonstrating how to push your voice for the radio, taught by Rickki ROXX himself. So quit being a big puss and man up rock style with the
RIKKI ROXX Rock God Starter Kit.
Now yours for just $29.95 plus $99.95 shipping and handling. Call now. 1-800-ROCK-GOD. That's 1-800-ROCKGOD. Now. Operators and tattooed hookers are standing by to take your order.
Feel your best before making an arrest. What you gonna pick? Cop pockets when you don't want something salady. Avoid police brutality. What you gonna pick? Cop pockets.
Cop pockets, filled with juicy jelly, mouth-watering maple and bacon, and creamy custard on a crispy donut.
When you want an easy meal while you're busting that your deal. What you gonna pick? Cop pockets.
The cop meal in a pocket.
What you gonna pick? Cop pockets.
Did you wake up this morning with a nasty rash and nothing but regret? Did you go home with a sweaty bass player last night? Did you wake up wanting to chew your own arm off because some skank's laying on it? Are you feeling a burning, itching sensation in your crotchal region? Do you feel like you need to scratch your ass with tree bark? Are you walking around like you were banged with a Scud missile? Did you meet someone at the bar you thought would actually call you back? Idiot! Then you need Skankosporin. It'll cool that burning sensation before you do the walk of shame to the cab. That's Skankosporin Itch Paste.
Available at In-N-Out Party Stores, Bottles and Stuff, 8 Mile Liquor, and Cunningham Drugs.
I've been looking for
following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Ricky rocks, Ricky rocks. It's Ricky rocks, coming out of the box. Bitches come in flocks, trying to steal his jocks. We need to be contained with padded rocks. It's the Ricky Rock Show, spreading like the pox. Ricky rocks, Ricky rocks. Ricky rocks, Ricky rocks, yeah. Ricky rocks, Ricky rocks. Ricky rocks, Ricky rocks, yeah. Ricky rocks up in your grill, motherfucker.
All right. Echo.
Every fucking time.
Now still have that echo. There we go. All right, we made it. All right, here we go. Episode number 114 of the Ricky Rock Show right here on rocks100.com. Chat, I don't know I can't get to stay displayed on there, but I can still see everybody's chat for some reason. Doesn't like showing up on the video stream, but I can still see what you guys are all saying there. Shout out to Sophia, Lulu, what's going on? Rob Surgot here hanging out. Johnny Gazuntite, take out the chat, blow on it, then put it back in.
Just like regular Nintendo.
Jesus Christ, man. So yeah, here we are. Kevin and I are twinning. We're twinning today.
Yeah. Not planned either.
Not planned at all. I was like, I was checking the wardrobe. I'm like, what should I wear today? What 80s cock rock band t-shirt do I want to rep today? I'm like going through. I'm like, well, that's dirty.
As you said
that's
cock,
dirty.
it instantly started going a different
way. Yeah, once I said cock, I'm like, the Kelly t-shirt. I should wear that. So that's what's going on. So we got a lot going on the show today. God, this is just so much going on. We're going to be announcing the Kelly Tucker Celebration for Life concert that's going to be going on. We have a world debut EVA Under Fire track that we're going to play today. And what else? I know I'm forgetting something. Oh, yeah, and then our boring segments, our nuts and bolts and harsh truths, beer of the week.
Anything about music and shit like that, the boring stuff.
The boring
stuff.
We'll
get that stuff out of the way.
So and then I need to talk about my horrible. I posted some shit on social media, and people have been hitting me up about this.
Yeah, Steph was like, "What's his pity party about?" I was like, "I don't know."
We'll get into all this. There's so many facets to this thing that's pissing me off and got me all
riled up.
Got me all riled up in a depressive pity party. And so we're going to get into that in a little bit as well. But right now we're going to get into our nuts and bolts and harsh truths. This is the segment where you send us your question, anything having to do with music or advice or anything like that. Let me get this nice and centered. This week, our nuts and bolts and harsh truths comes from Connie out of Buffalo, New York. She asks, and if you have a question, Rocks100 at Rocks100Radio at gmail.com. I know, but if somebody else had a question.
No, it's just funny that it shows up and not the chat.
I'll work on the chat. It popped up for a second. But anyway, this week's question comes from Connie out of Buffalo, New York. This is an interesting one. Hey, fellas, just happened in on your show and was curious if you guys have ever promoted your own show or worked with any venues. My question is, what does it take to put on your own show for your band or for other bands? What goes into the whole thing? Been going to shows for years and always thought I could do better myself. Just wondering what I'd be getting myself into. Kevin,
don't do it.
You've ridden on that roller coaster a few times. What's up?
I mean, I've had some good shows, but the reason why the shows I typically threw were bad was because they typically are on weekdays for out of town bands that nobody's ever fucking heard of. So I have done some, Friday and Saturday shows that either I put on or was a part of putting it on, but it is a lot of work. I mean, like, you'll get a million bands that say they want to do it, right? Yeah. And then as soon as you say, well, I think I'm going to have this band headline, then everybody gets pissed. Well, I'm not opening. I want to be this. I want to be that. Nobody wants to open. No one wants to back clean up. Like, there's only so many slots on the show. So that's a fucking hurdle that you got to deal with. Depending on the cost of the room, if you got to do tickets, no bands want to sell fucking tickets anymore. Basically, just get used to a lot of rejection. a lot of no's, and a lot of people throwing fits. That's what you have to look forward to.
It sounds like a blast.
Sign me up.
Yeah, dude, it's to Connie out there. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on, promoting shows. Unless you're working for a venue, don't ever do it because, okay.
Unless there's like a special occasion. Because I have seen some people that kind of threw like benefits or like things like that typically wouldn't.
Yeah.
And because the person that it was supporting was, maybe a popular person in some sort of segment or, whatever the case may be, people came out. But if we're talking just throwing shows like one-off, like just to get your feet wet, try it, you're going to have a bad time.
Okay, so, here's the dynamics on how this works, at least in my experience. I've worked for bars, and then majority of it, my time doing it has been as kind of like an independent dude, just coming in pretty much renting the room. This is where you're going to run into issues if you're an independent concert promoter. Okay, so if you're just doing local bands and shit like that, it's easy. You don't have to worry too much about money and guarantees and shit like that. The problem you're going to run into as an independent promoter anyway is when you take that next step and start getting, I guess I'm trying to see if the chat's working underneath everything, but as an independent promoter and you take that next step into touring bands, guarantees, and having to do this. The problem you're going to run into is, you're going to have a band that needs X amount of money, $1,000, $500, $1,500, $2,000, all the way up to millions of dollars, depending on what kind of room.
I've never thrown a show before. What's your guarantee? $13 million. Okay, let me get on that.
And when you work for a venue, you get a lot more money your way because you get a cut of the door. Okay. When I was working at the Corner Bar in Hamtramck, if I had a band with a guarantee, I was making a certain percentage of the door on top of your normal door, ticket sales and shit like that. So yeah, you have your ticket sales, you have your online, your physical, your door thing. And then on top of that, if it's a heavy drinking crowd, you get a bonus at the end of the night, 5%, 4% or whatever the total bar's intake was. If you have food, you usually get some of that as well. But if you're an independent thing, you're not getting any of that. You're relying 100% on people coming in the door. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Horrible idea. Horrible. I did it for years trying to find ways to make this shit work, and there is no way to make it work. There's only X amount of dollars that come in the door.
Yep.
You're not making anything on liquor sales. The venue is banking all of that money. We've talked about Simons and cheap Kevin and
we love Kevin, but fuck that dude.
And his massive swaths of money, that he makes, as if you're working for a venue, you get a certain percentage of that, so if, you're making 4% and the venue makes 10 grand on, food and liquor, let's do the math, couple $100, on top of your door and all that stuff. Makes it a lot easier.
I tried a bunch of different methods. Like at one point I was doing like really cheap tickets just to like make it easy for bands. I was like, dude, if we sell the tickets for $3, you keep $1.50, I keep $1.50. Like who's going to not just buy a $3 ticket? And then if they don't go, then they're just, it was only $3. So I tried that out for a couple shows. I think 2 of them were for Shudder and 2 were for Harlow. And I think Shudder pocketed like $100, like more than we would like if we would have just sold normal tickets. And then I think Harlow did like 70 or 80. But then all the other bands were like, oh, no one wants to buy these fucking tickets. I'm like, dude, they're fucking $3.
Yeah.
And then I tried 5, and then I tried 7, and it was just nothing fucking worked. I've tried everything. Yeah.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you're selling a ticket for $3, you can sell a ticket for $5. It's
my standpoint was it'd be easier to just have a casual music goer. Yeah, it's only $3. Let me get a few of them. That was my whole thought. But the reason why I did that was because all the money that went to me, I gave to the touring band.
Yeah.
So like I made nothing.
Yeah.
Almost every show I ever booked at Simons, I never made a dime. And in fact, most of the time I paid out the touring band out of my own pocket.
Yeah, so, bad idea. Bad idea. If you decide to go that route, and there are venues that will kind of, I don't want to say pitch in, but if you pitch them, hey, I got this line on this killer fucking band. Problem is it costs $1,500 or something like that. And if that bar wants that band, like, oh man, I've heard that band. You got a line? Oh yeah, I'll throw in a couple $100. Most of the time, it doesn't work that way, because they're making their money at the bar and without having to give you that money, So Takani, don't do it. Bad idea. People that do
I mean, if you want to have a bad time, go for it.
But. That's why I did it for a long time. I could just book the bands I'd want to see rather than having to go to 5 different places. I just book the bands and put them on, but then you get the bands bitching about money. And
now we're gonna segue to why Ricky's depressed.
That's not even the tip of the iceberg, But yeah, if you want to be an independent concert promoter, don't do it for the money. Just know you're going to lose money, and we haven't even touched on promoting the shows because, concert promoter, you got to promote the actual show. It's a
You'd be surprised.
Money.
There's a lot of people that call themselves promoters that don't do even the bare minimum of being a promoter.
Right. So my suggestion, don't do it. Horrible idea. Not fun unless you just have money you just want to burn. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be burning money. Whether it be your bar tab, whether it be having to pay the bands out what you promised them, even if it's like $100 to a couple bands, that's a couple $100.
Oh yeah.
And if
try doing that shit multiple times a week.
Yeah, and then if 5 people show up, middle of a fucking snowstorm, 3 fucking feet of snow, 5 people show up, you still got to pay those bands that $150.
Yep.
So yeah, you made $60 at the door. You still have to pay that $500 to all those bands. You said you'd give them $100, and you thought it was gonna be easy peasy money in the bank.
Yep.
It's bad. Don't do it. So that is this week's Nuts and Bolts and Harsh Truths. Kev, what's been going on with you?
Oh, what's new? Oh, the chat showed up.
Yeah, I was working on it during that last segment.
The continuing trend of shit breaking on me is still happening. But on the flip side, I finally got the backyard mode today.
You did?
Yeah, after I think a month and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was fucking long as hell. Got more tattoo work done yesterday.
What'd you get? Where's it? Oh, snap, look at all this.
Yeah, like deep into the armpit.
Oh, God,
too.
look at right in the hair.
So I tapped out.
Yeah.
Like
you couldn't hack it anymore?
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And he was fortunately ending in the armpit. And I was like, dude, how much longer do you have? I'm about done. He's like, oh, let me just finish up this one little thing. And it took like another 10 minutes. I was like, you said you were almost done.
Well, in the grand scheme of 2.5 hours, what's 10 minutes?
No, that's true. But yeah, that was definitely one of the more unpleasant ones. That's for sure. Just, it did not feel good.
No.
I'm not going to get into the number killer stuff that we all know that when I talk, people leave the show. But
Kevin's going to be buying a new car.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, we'll see. We're gonna look.
One of those nice foreign jobs.
I mean, let's be honest. Jesus. Even the American ones, there's tons of shit that comes from fucking Europe and China and all over the world.
Yeah, that's why. Oh, I didn't tell you. I'm laid off for another 2 weeks. Did you read the?
That's what you get when you buy American.
Did you read the? Yeah, going into that. We'll talk about cars for a minute, but this has been all over the news about my plant being shut down. Because I make that small little electric job.
With the Bolt?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Didn't they have a huge recall on that
They recalled every single Bolt.
Watch, it was the Bolt Ricky had to torque down, too, wasn't it?
No.
You had one job, Ricky.
You heard the shit that happened with the batteries catching fire?
Oh, I don't pay attention to the news because 90% of it ain't real.
Yeah, no, it is like a real thing. Like they have, it was a thing that, first it was the chip shortage. Mm-hmm. That's why I was off this week. And I'm like, oh, it's about time. I need some time off, And then earlier this week, they're like, yo, they're shutting us down for another 2 weeks, And I'm like, oh, cool. What happened? And they're like, dude, they recalled every single Bolt we've made over the last 3 years.
Damn.
Because those batteries catch on fire. I guess it's like when you leave it charged in, it'll spark and light. Like how you're not supposed to leave your phone on the charger and shit like that. It's just, I guess it's the same thing with these cars. So people...
Fucking Samsung batteries? Come on, man.
LG.
Galaxy Note batteries in those fucking cars.
So it's literally like, you'll drive the car and then, you get home.
Boom, catches on fire.
it's at 90%. Let's throw it on the fucking charger overnight and shit like that. They started like just sparking and lighting on fire and shit like this.
See, if I'm going to go out like that, I don't want it to be in a piece of shit like that. I'd rather be in a Ferrari where the engine catches on fire.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going to die in a car, it better be a badass car, not some piece of shit.
So supposedly it's like a $1.8 billion recall.
Ooh.
I'm happy I get 2 weeks off paid.
Oh.
It's gonna do horrible things for my profit sharing check coming May. I'm kind of looking forward to that money, but fuck 2 weeks off. So super cool.
You know how you normally get this profit sharing check? We're gonna need you to pay us.
You owe us $2,000. So so super cool. So what else has been going on, Kev, before I get in my depressive pity party, and then we can go into things people actually care about.
I'll cede my time. Go into it. Let's hear the sad.
Your time.
Let's hear the sad panda story.
Okay, so this is what's up. I posted a thing probably Monday or Tuesday. Like need positive vibes and shit, and it's because of this show. Okay, I was talking to you last Sunday about this. How I'm like, dude, I put all this effort and time and sitting down here in this fucking basement working on graphic stuff, working on video stuff, the stuff nobody out there sees,
right?
On top of trying to book guests, on top of setting up shows or spreading
having
over
Nikki get beer of the week,
she got this week's too. Then I just kind of start, I was like, because at the end of the show last week we were talking to 0 people, for the last 10-15 minutes. And that's when it all just hit me. I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I even bothering, wasting my time, doing this show? I've been doing this for 8 years, almost 9 now. If you count Tap Detroit, Raw, Diffuse, and now this, and then the podcast thing, which Kelly was on for a hot minute. I'm like, why? Why do I even fucking bother? Been doing this, been promoting it like fucking crazy, yada, yada, yada. Nobody fucking gives two shits about this thing. And it gets to the point where I'm like, if I'm going to be broadcasting to 0 people, I don't want to fucking do this thing. I talk to myself all the time. I don't need to bring your ass over here to talk to myself.
I just figured you wanted bro time.
So that too, it helps. I got a drummer out of it. So at least I can say the show got me a drummer, but it's like, why? Why do I?
Hey, we're in double digits right now, Ricky.
Well, it's slowly dipping. I know. And
now we're going into hockey talk.
And I know why they're all here, and we'll get to it. I know why they want to hear about Kelly's show.
We're dangling the carrot. You're going to wait till 9:52.
You are going to listen to every damn word I have to say. And I was just like, why the fuck am I doing this? This is fucking stupid. And compound that on top of the stress of being pretty much king shit and casting shadows, which I'm super kind of like pissed about now. Having to handle every minute detail about travel and plans and money and all this stuff, and having to handle all this.
I'm kind of glad for once that I'm not the one having to do it, because normally that's what I always had to do.
Well, and then all the stuff that's up in the air about that band, whether or not you're going to be here, whether or not Danny's going to be here, whether or not Jeff wants to bring Don back, then I'm gone, and I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do then? So it's like all this stuff and stress on stress on stress on top of having a new kid, on top of being a dad already, on top of everything. I literally burnt. It's cool. If people were engaging in this show and stuff like that and really dug it, then I'd be like, okay, it's the juice is worth the squeeze,
right?
But it's a lot of stress, because I'm like, I don't want you sitting down here for another 2 years and be like, oh, I guess we're still broadcasting to 6 people, and it's just stress and stress and stress.
Everybody post an F in the chat for Ricky.
What the hell's the F mean?
Well, you wanted engagement. I figured let's do something easy. We know people can't read instructions for buying fucking decals.
So, and then, like the shows that I do and shit like that, that I don't do. I already took that shit off the thing. I'm not going to be promoting shows anymore. Connie, it's for a lot of the reasons, for a lot of those same reasons. I'm not fucking doing it. And like the hosting shows, now I have 2 I got to do. I'm not doing that shit anymore because it's one more thing I got to stress out and worry about.
Well, the one fortunate thing is once we get through these casting shadow shows, you're not going to have to worry about all that stuff because that's when news cycle of whatever happens.
Well, there, the casting stuff, that's a big thing, because right now, a little insider thing here. Oh, thank you for all the Fs, everybody.
You're welcome, Ricky.
That's a thing, everything's up in the air. I've talked to Jeff a little bit about what because I'm a replacement. I'm not, I'm brand new in the band. I ain't shit.
You're brand new?
I just play bass. Jeff is the Axl Rose of this band. He runs the ship.
You're trying to be Slash, the bass version.
But
we
in
could call you
reality,
Bash. Blash.
But in reality, I'm pretty much like that chick that they throw up in the corner. I'm eye candy, and I really don't do much, But it's like
I don't think candy's the right word. Eyesore? No, I'm just kidding.
Jeff is the Axl of this band, and I'm throwing it all out there. But there's talk of Don coming back. And I've already had, Nikki had this talk. She's like, well, not with you in the band. He's not. And I'm like, well, why?
I wonder what that means for me.
Indulge. And she's like, yeah, Don comes. You're not going back to practicing in a fucking bar on Tuesdays and shit like this. You got a good situation now. Don he threw bitch fit in front of everybody. So I'm like, okay, babe. So this decision's out of my hands, and it's just that stress.
We'll just start another band called Casting Shadows 2.0.
And, so that's a thing that's happening, so it's a lot of shit that's up in the air. Things aren't going the way I'd ideally like them to be going. And it's like, when I get into these things, I start chopping shit off that I'm like, well, this juice ain't worth the squeeze. Fuck this. That goes away. This goes away. What do I have left?
Are we talking like Dexter kind of chopping?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Murder is going to be happening. Gotcha. Murder. So,
I'm gonna steer clear of Ricky for a while.
So this whole thing, that was the earlier this week thing. And then a recent development, which got me all pissed off, is somebody, from deductive reasoning is sending, how do I put this? Sending my wife things about me that aren't true. Okay. And I know who it is.
Do I know who it is?
Yes.
I already think I know who it is.
With full disclosure, when I was in my 20s, I did a lot of shitty things. And now some of those things are starting to resurface with different people and yada, 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 that I'm doing things I shouldn't be doing. I'm like, yo, you know exactly where I am, who I'm with. It's somebody who works at a venue in the greater Detroit area who is just kind of feeding shit. And that's where the whole shithead thing came out, because I got in a big old fucking argument with my wife on Friday night when I got home. And because I went to Diesel to go see a band called Lions. They're like kind of like old school rock stuff. And then I went with my buddy Derek down to Mount Clemens and hung out with him, and then came home and shit like that. And then fucking shit hit the fan that I'm hanging out with people that I shouldn't be hanging out with. I'm like, dude, go on Facebook. I'm hanging out with fucking Derek. Ain't no girls want to hang out with that gross duo. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, I know, but
you could see the dried spit a mile away.
People are saying things. I'm like, what are people saying? Well, that you're doing less than honorable stuff. And so I'm like, okay, just throw this on top, and I told Nikki, I'm like, yo, if this is a problem, just let me know now and all this is over. My family's were, the big important thing.
Oh, yeah.
If all this is gonna cause an issue, just fucking tell me. He's like, well, I know you like playing in a band and all this. That's why I don't want you going back to playing in bars, because some of those people, I'm like, I understand that, totally cool, but I'm not 29. I'm a fucking balding middle-aged gray dude.
I mean, the most unsavory thing you did the entire time we were out on the road for those 3 nights was jumping on top of me while I was passed out.
Maybe that was it. Maybe she saw
I would say that was the closest human-to-human contact that could be deemed
Inappropriate. so it's a thing, and that's why I'm kind of like stressed, burnt, everything, and thank you to everybody out there who has thrown out some words of support and all that. It does mean a lot. I just kind of wish half those people that throw that support out there would actually pay attention to what the fuck I do. So what do you want to do? You want to get into the Kelly thing, or do you want to get into the Band of the Week thing? Your call, homie.
I kind of want to keep the listeners on the line a little bit longer. Let's do Band of the Week, and then we can do it.
Okay. So that means I have to go in here and change videos around. Okay. Oh, I already have it. So we're good. This week's Pump Your Dub Band of the Week is actually, since I didn't get a lot of, this is a segment where, I kind of throw a new band at you that you might not have found out about otherwise, and local band, independent band, whatever you want to call it. I haven't been getting a lot lately. It's been a lot, I've said this on the show. I've gotten a lot of horrible metal lately. So I went to the Blue Ridge thing and just kind of started looking at the independent bands and kind of started picking from there. So this band is the band that's going to be playing right after Casting Shadows on that stage on Sunday the 12th. They're a band out of Virginia Beach, Virginia called Magg Dylan. Okay. If you're into bands like Seven Dust, Chevelle, Stitched Up Heart, you might be into this band. They have their new single is called Pawns. They have an album called Amethyst. It's released in 2020. It's on Spotify. Info on these guys. Magg Dylan is not an ordinary rock band by any means. The Virginia Beach Quintuplets high-energy emotional live shows have earned the band a reputation that precedes them. The subject matter of their music is drawn from the members' personal life experiences, such as addiction, bad relationships, and bullying. This band pours their heart and souls into everything they create, and the result is spectacular. So is the story of how they came together, as one could even say that fate itself is to blame. Last year, we had Voliere from Toronto, Ontario. Their song Like a Zombie got 95 votes. Sounds like a lot, only 8th all time. So our highest one was Reason to Find way back in the early days of the show, 450 votes. That's our top dog. So we're going to play some Magg Dylan, their song Pawns right now. And then if you like this song, head on over to the Facebook page, facebook.com/rocks100. Find the Pump It or Dub Band of the Week thing. Give it a like or a heart or whatever you want to do. Or if you don't like it, you're premature in that one. If you don't like it, give it the face. And let's see how this band does. So without any further ado, here's Magg Dylan, their song Pawns. We'll be right back. Episode number 114 of the Ricky Rock Show right here on Rocks100.com. feverishly trying to get Aaron all queued up and ready to go when he calls in the 8 o'clock hour. So yeah, the chat reset again. It does that. So that was Magg Dylan and their song Pawns, facebook.com/Magg Dylan or www.maggdylan.com, MAGGDYLAN. So that's what's up. So what do you want to get into now?
We might as well talk about the Kelly Show.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the Kelly Show. Let me pull this up. This is the big announcement. Everybody's been waiting on pins and needles for this one for over a year and a half, a year and some change.
Yeah, it's been a fucking minute.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw the poster up there for you all to check out. Just announced, this is world debut stuff here, kids. The Kelly Tucker Celebration of Life concert. Man, I wish I would have had one pulled up because I can barely read it. But yeah, going down November 27th, that is the Saturday the Saturday of Thanksgiving, at the Crowfoot Ballroom in Pontiac, Michigan, the great city of Pontiac. The big room over at the Crowfoot. This is going to have Kissing Candace, who was one of the first bands Kelly went out on tour with as a sound guy, and they're going to be headlining that show. Awesome band, and also on that band, Suffer It Down, Casting Shadows, Influence, Wisher, Reject the Silence, Craft of Conviction, and special performances by Shudder and Stone Clover. Okay, we have the drummer from Shudder in the studio today. Do you guys have anything cool planned for this one that you can let the listeners in on?
I mean, I was trying to work on some stuff a while back. Between getting those decals out to people, all the stuff we've been doing, and then trying to arrange practices for fucking Harlow and for Shudder. It might be slightly delayed, but I'm still working on it. There was a guy in the group chat I'm sending a whole ton of video footage to because I know they're going to do a video thing.
Yeah.
So I think I'll just focus more on like giving that guy a bunch of stuff. And we're still going to do something, but
yeah.
Josh and I had talked about it a little bit, but it's still in the early workings. We got a little bit of time.
Very cool. Way to pump it up, Kevin.
It's tough because like I had a really cool idea back when I first was told about it. Now as things have progressed a little bit more, I don't think what I originally wanted to do would work. There's some other things I'm working on though. But
so do you have any info on what's going to be going on at this show? Because I know they have the two rooms. They have the Crowfoot, which is the big ballroom thing, and then they have the room upstairs, the Pike Room, that they're going to be doing. And then I heard something about a walk that's going to happen or something like this.
I honestly don't really know much. I wish I could tell you. I don't. I had next to no involvement in most of the putting together of the show.
Jeez, so we should have had Erica on here.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Kevin, you're good for nothing. Sophia Marie says she'll be there. Rob Surgott, I miss Kelly, so ain't going to miss this. Mike Cohey hanging up, stuffing things. That's a thing too. Yeah, so that's what's up. This is going to be an awesome show.
Well, since we're talking about that, because I got these decals.
Here it is.
Well, here, let's just use yours.
Okay.
I don't want to bust these big ass
I don't know what you can see because I haven't pulled these off yet. I'm going to put these on the back of my bass guitar. But we got decals here, and fuck fentanyl, justice for Kelly. That's one of them. The other one is, I don't know how properly, I don't know if you can even see it, but
yeah.
Opa.
So yeah,
whatever it is.
We're gonna have those for sale at the show. We're probably gonna order more, but I currently have fucking like 95 of these things. So I got a lot of orders that I need to mail out or deliver. So people that have already paid, I will be doing that very shortly. Thank you for being patient, not ripping my head off.
Okay, so you were kind of talking about this before the show. How should people properly pay you for these?
So when I posted about it, I said, if you want to pay me for these stickers, I will mail them to you or I can deliver them if they're within reason. PayPal me as friends and family, and that's it.
Why? Just so people, because people like to just click through and it says payment sent.
So here's the thing. When you PayPal somebody as friends and family, the person that's receiving the money gets taxed on it. So like you're technically a customer. When you go to like Burger King, you pay a sales tax, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When you do the friends and family, the person sending the money doesn't have to pay that tax. The person that is selling the item ends up getting fucked. But this is the big reason why I hate it, because if you don't send it as friends and family, there is no seller protection. And I've had this happen before, and if any of you motherfuckers try this again, I'm really going to be pissed. But if I were to sell you something...
Let me get another White Claw.
If I were to sell you a sticker, right, essentially, and you paid me, not as friends and family, the minute you get your sticker, you can go to your credit card company and say, oh, this was some nefarious shit happened. They will, no questions asked, refund you and then freeze my PayPal account and take my money. Ask me how I know this, because I've had it happen before. So, yeah, our generation of people and their lack of reading comprehension really annoys the fuck out of me. I think out of the, 40 or 50 people that paid me via PayPal, I think maybe 5 of them actually PayPal'd me as friends and family.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, do you have Venmo? Do you have Cash App? Do you have this app? Do you have this app? I'm like, dude... It's going to be fucking impossible for me to keep track of all these different apps with all these different... Well, can you deliver me to this day? And I'm just like, oh my God. I just wanted to make this nice and easy to get these out.
Yeah.
And it's turning into a huge fucking headache.
So have we heard, this was I don't know if this is going to happen at all, but, I've heard, and I'm sure Chris and everybody else has too, about these spiffy t-shirts. Are they going to do another run of these to maybe sell at the show?
That's a good fucking question. I know there had been talks of t-shirts. If they're not, I would say we should. That's a really good idea.
See, Ricky has ideas.
Well, duh.
So to Connie and Buffalo.
You've been meddling along for this long. Of course you got some
So to
ideas.
Connie and Buffalo, if you want to do a good show, think outside the box.
Yeah, make a huge investment into it. You'll at least look good while you're failing. I'm just kidding.
So it's a pretty killer lineup. Casting Shows is on it, and both of us being on it. Kevin gets to set up and tear down his drum set probably twice.
Yeah, that's nothing new for me. I've done it before.
And not only am I playing bass, I'm going to be co-emceeing this thing with the one only Miss Erica Shikembe from Suffer It Down, putting this whole thing together. And so that's what's up. It's going to be a good time. I've heard things about walks for Kelly. I don't know the details or anything on that, but I'm sure I think it's going to be properly announced with the event page and everything tomorrow, I believe. I think I heard something about 6 p.m.
Yeah, like 6 or 6:30 or something like that.
So 6 p.m. tomorrow.
Chris said she'll talk about Tyler about the shirts too.
Okay. And, so all the any more details will probably be in that event page and all that, and we will share it. I'm sure most of you are on the Kelly Tucker page and all that. So you'll see it on your social media and all that for...
Sophia asked where the proceeds are going to go. We're actually... I don't know the exact name and terminology of it. It's something for Narcan awareness.
Yeah.
And Chris actually has all the information on that. Rob said list the bands one more time. So we got Kissing Candace, Suffer It Down, Casting Shadows, Influence, Wisher, Reject the Silence, Crafted Conviction, Shudder, and Stone Clover. Oh, we got Steve Dave tuning in. I'm drunk and tuning in. Can you start the show over? Thank you for joining us, Steve. Missed you.
Yeah, I'm talking to Aaron Moore right now from the band Reject the Silence. We're going to be talking to him in the 8 o'clock hour, and we're going to be trying a new thing. Now we're doing Zoom calls.
I know. As soon as you said that was available, I was like, fuck, I need to hit up Matt and try
So
and get
we're going
another
to see if this works in the 8 o'clock hour. So yeah, definitely stay tuned on your social medias for more information on the Kelly Tucker Celebration of Life concert going down November 27th at the Crowfoot Complex.
No, you know that you were
Pontiac, Michigan.
You brought up how people were wondering what all is going to happen.
Yeah.
I think the fact that nothing's really been said is kind of a good thing, because at the end of the day, Kelly would have just wanted to have a kick-ass fucking show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the stuff that, from what I know, that's going to happen will just make it that much cooler. It's going to be a really good fucking night.
So you knew Kelly for a very long time. If he knew we were doing this, what do you think the first thing he would have said would be?
He'd be like, man, you motherfuckers. Something along those lines.
Because he was a guy who hated attention. He hated it. He didn't if he would have.
So hold on.
If he would have saw his fucking mug on a fucking concert poster, like the one on the screen, it'd be like, Dude, really?
So this is the thing. Kelly hated attention, but who was always the loudest fucking person in the room?
Right.
Kelly. Who was always all up front and center? Kelly. Now, I think part of that was just because he liked having fun. I don't know if he was really trying to be the center of attention, but part of him would act like, oh, you didn't have to do that. But deep down inside, he'd be like, oh, yeah, fuck yeah. You know.
Steve, Dave in the chat, can we see the shirt? It has to be a big deal if both you guys are wearing it. Yep, this is, explain the shirt, Kevin.
So Kelly, when he would do sound, would, bitch at people when they were cupping the mic. And that was kind of his...
Most of your metal bands.
Yeah. Like, he was just the one that was, like, the most vocal about it. And, like, he would make vague Facebook sasses and shit and be like, don't cup the mic, shit like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, cool. I'm stoked, man. Should be a really fun night. I'm glad we finally get to fucking do this because we... Not, like, right after he passed away, but, like, within a decent amount of time afterwards, it was kind of like, all right, when is something going to happen? Like, everyone knew the way it should go down is do a farewell show, memorial show, however you want to classify it.
Right.
So, COVID fucked everything up for a good long time, so we were just stoked that we finally got a venue, got to announce it, and we're just hoping that there's no flare-ups of variants and bullshit.
Yeah. So I did, I was going down the let me hide that poster. I think you guys all got the idea of it at this point. I was going down the YouTube rabbit hole, because we have Aaron on the show. He's been a friend of ours for a very long time, friend of Kelly. And he's going to be playing the show with his band Reject the Silence. I believe it's going to be their first show back, in quite a long time,
Yeah, I mean, they were playing a lot of, like, Ohio for a minute. Yeah. They're all, like, real close to the border. Yeah. And they started repping Ohio, which I kind of got a kick out of, but we'll probably talk about that when we talk to him. But it was just interesting. He's like, yeah, they show us a lot of love down there. I'm like, eh.
They say they're a Toledo band. And I found a video, perusing through Facebook. I was up till like 8 a.m. just like looking for videos and shit because I ain't got to work. I'm a fucking bum, so I found this
totally cheating, bro.
I found this video from a long time ago that has Kelly in it and Aaron. This was when I think Kelly signed up for the 500th time to be a co-host on my radio show, I believe, when I was over at Raw.
So were you that asshole that like Kelly would like send you his resume and you just take it and like crumple it up and throw it away?
Well, I was like, he said I was at his graduation from Specs. I'm like, oh, you should know what you're doing now. So yeah, bring somebody in here that knows what the fuck he's doing. It is what it is. But I found this video and I'm going to play it for you guys. And we're going to come back and do Beer of the Week. And then we were going to talk to Aaron Moore from Reject the Silence after that.
Awesome.
Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
All right. So dig this.
Like I have a choice.
This is back. This is in the vault, way back machine. So hopefully you guys dig it. Here it is.
Did you have to copy it from VHS to digital?
No, it was on Facebook. So here it is. Check it out. We'll be right back after this.
This world and I see no end. All shall fade to black again and again. This storm that's broken me, my only friend, yeah. And this river all shall fade to black. And this river will coming back. Tell me his way of doing it. I only know the original. Alright, I fucked up. It's okay, well that's how we're doing it, baby. It's alright, I have to do the lyrics. Let me see those. Got that. Withdrawn, I stand away just to find myself. This door is closed again, and only one left. I'm mumbling. This storm that's broken me, my only friend, yeah. And this river all shall fade to black. first one time. You should do that. Withdrawn, I step away just to find myself. This door is closed again, the only one left. This storm that's broken me, my only friend, yeah. In this river I shall fade to black. In this river ain't no coming back. In this river I shall fade to black. Really Bad Karaoke Night brought to you by Rikki ROXX. And this is what you can expect from the new Rikki ROXX Effect on RawRadioX.com! I'm sorry.
All right.
See, he really brought it together at the end there.
I had to peruse. I had
still
to.
Echoing.
Oh, am I still echoing? Oh, I forgot to turn your headphones off. So yeah, that's what's up. I had to peruse down memory lane on that one, and I found some.
Well, I could tell
shit.
he was drunk because we all know he can't sing, but at the very end, he did the typical hype man Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very fitting.
And they did point out in the chat that he did look up those lyrics on his phone.
Dude, that's like the most smart drunk thing to do, though.
Oh man, so we're gonna get into man. There is a serious lag going on YouTube there.
Yeah.
So you want to get your beer ready?
Oh yeah,
Kevin.
Might want to do that.
This glass right here. All right, this is one of our favorite segments. Aaron Moore just admitted he's in the waiting room, so he's gonna be sitting there for a minute. Sophia Marie, the video is a keeper. Rob Surgot, storm is coming to Chesterfield, so if I disappear, you know why. Well, if we disappear, then you know why.
Well, he said if show disappears, not if him.
Oh.
But either way, concept still.
Don't shake it, Ricky. That's what Sophia is saying. So this is one of our favorite segments here, Beer of the Week. This is where we...
Horrible pour.
Yeah, you got so much head on that thing.
That's what she said.
I think they should have called your wife about all that head you're getting. So yeah, this is Big Lake Brewing out of Holland, Michigan. Oh man, my head's awful too.
Steve Dave would be so disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Big Lake Brewing out of Holland, Michigan. Their Downhill Delight. This is a New England Hazy IPA, 5.5 on the ABV. Untapped.com gave this a 7.5 out of 10. And I love these descriptions because it's horrible. A hazy IPA, perfect for hitting the slopes in northern Michigan. It's 100 degrees out. Why is this beer even out? Anyway, Nikki picked this up for me. $11.99 for 4 pints. Got this from B&B Beer and Wine in Chesterfield, Michigan. Hit them up and tell them you found out about their fine establishment right here on rocks100.com. Kevin Raslog, what are you thinking about this bad boy?
I don't know. Doesn't really do a whole lot for me. It's just kind of out there. Like there's like
it's just kind of out there. Steve Dave finally tunes in, our fucking beer snob, and you're like, oh, it's just kind of out there.
Allow me to process, what my mouth is going through currently. I don't know. There's just nothing that really like grabs me. That like, I don't know. There's no gimmick. There's no pizzazz. I don't know. It's just kind of blah. What's the ABV on this?
5.5.
Oh, okay.
So it's not going to be a big hitter on you. Yeah, this one is, it's your pretty much standard, typical hazy New England IPA. I'm getting a little bit of that kind of grapefruit, kind of dry taste to it. I'm not getting a lot of the potpourri thing, which a lot of people hate or love about IPAs, where you're licking a potpourri dish and shit like that. It's not a lot of that. It doesn't have any very strong, prominent flavors. I guess they're kind of subtle. It's more water.
Maybe that's why I'm not a fan. Like, I don't know.
There's nothing that's really bam right in the kiss or anything like that. It's a very subtle one. But
the fact that it's like got that dryness to it, maybe only almost comparable to like I don't drink wine at all. But like the few times I've tried like white wine.
Yeah.
Not on the same level, but that's kind of just the dry and I'm just like,
Yeah,
not a fan.
You know, it does have that kind of dry thing on it. The head is fucking ridiculous. It's like a fucking float. And
Steve Dave, come on now. That's not polite.
So, Les Zeldor, wow, he pops in. Rob from EVA Under Fire. Oh, we still got to play that song. Rob from EVA Under Fire and I were talking about Kelly last night after the gig in Quincy. Kelly is definitely missed. So yeah, scale of 1 to 10.
Steve Dave, I was referring to the wine as like the dryness, not the ABV.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
Okay, I got to pull up a music video because I'm totally dropping the ball. There's so much going on this show that I was like, I knew I was going to forget something at some point, and of course, I'm forgetting the EVA Under Fire song.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, the world fucking exclusive. You know, they didn't have to give it to us. And you know what? I only purposely listened to like 20 seconds of it because I wanted to actually like not be like.
Oh, you want to experience it with everybody else?
Yes.
Wow, look at you. I've already listened to it probably about a million times.
No, like I downloaded it and it took so much of me to not play it.
Yeah.
I was like sitting there, I'm like, should I listen to it? And then like I hopped on my computer and I was like, I'm going to download it on my computer just so I have it.
Oh, man.
And then I accidentally double clicked on it and then I hit pause right away and I was like, all right, just a little taste.
Just let me get the first 10 seconds. So you haven't listened to the whole thing?
No, not at all.
Yeah, right when he sent it to me, I'm like, oh, I gotta fucking listen to it.
Of course.
Because I'm a fucking douche.
No, but because we do the show and I figured you were going to want to debut it, I was like,
yeah,
I want to go in and like, I don't know.
You want to go in fresh for that fresh reaction.
Yeah, like a virgin.
Oh, wow. You want to see what it's like again. That ship has sailed. You were telling me stories about Kelly. You and Kelly, that ship sailed a long time ago.
As far as scores.
Yeah, what are you going to give this one?
I'll do like a 6.5.
6.5. I'm gonna go a 7, a solid C. You know, it's not bad. No,
it's not, but it just doesn't. It doesn't do a whole lot. If anything, I figured this was gonna kind of have like more of a wintry, like kind of something to it. This reminds me of something I would drink if I was out on the fucking beach.
You know, this is just something that you're gonna drink if you're just chilling. You know, you're
but
just
that's
fucking
what I'm saying.
hanging.
I feel like this would be a nice warm weather beer, not like a cold weathered beer. Whereas like it's Downhill Delight. Like it's almost got like a Christmassy wintery.
You know, I'm thinking. You know, I've never gone skiing or snowboarding or anything like that because I'm not an adrenaline junkie like that. You know, but I'm like, okay, you know, you're skiing or something like that. You go into the warm lodge, you know, and you're like, oh man, just kind of want to chill and scope the snow bunnies and shit like that. And you know, you pull one of these suckers out.
You're not coordinated, but you know what snow bunnies are.
Well, I know what the different thing of snow bunnies is, but
gotcha.
Ain't none of them gonna be on a ski slope. So yeah, this is you know, like if you're just like hanging out or something like that, this is the kind of beer you'd have. You're not gonna get wrecked on it or anything like that, but you know, it's for $12.
Now that I think about it, that's actually a good point. Like, who wants to drink like a 12% ABV and then go skiing like a double black diamond?
Yeah.
Probably not the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, this is, something you're going to pick up or something like that and, hang out.
I just smashed 8 of these. I'm going to go hit the half pipe.
This is a beer that, if you're stopping in for a minute, you want to grab a quick beer. Yeah, this is something you can have and you're not going to be weighed down like a stout or anything like that. And you're not going to get fucking wrecked.
Les, it's called Downhill Delight Hazy IPA by Big Lakes Brewing.
There it is, Zaldor from back in the days.
Maybe I was a little harsh at first. It's not bad, but there's just not much.
I mean, I drink it. I'm going to probably go through all these.
Well, of course.
But I went through the last shit beer. But I'll drink them. They're definitely not bad. For 12. You're paying $3 a pint. Not bad. All right, so we're getting into this EVA Under Fire thing here. Comatose, brand new single. I believe it's dropping this week, I believe.
Hey, you said the 5th, right?
Isn't that this week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just saying the date.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can go and pre-save it, and I'm assuming all that shit, because that's the cool thing to do with bands.
Yeah, so everybody does now. Yeah. So, world debut, EVA Under Fire, Comatose. Their new single coming off their album coming up in...
Les said the stream died.
Uh-oh.
We're down to 3.
It says 8 over here. Oh no, what happened? I'm not getting anything. You know, nothing said it died. Oh no.
Steve Dave said it's working for him. Huh. Hit F5, refresh.
Steve Dave.
Sophia said she can hear us, but the video's lagging.
Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. We're not getting zucked again, are we?
I hope not.
Zaldor's still there.
Does he own YouTube?
So what do you want me to do? Are we gonna? Do you want to play the song and see what happens?
Let's do this. Let's play 2 tracks. We'll hold off on that. I'm gonna go smoke real quick, and then we can jump into the interview with Aaron, and then we can play it after.
Okay, so you want to do the EVA Under Fire thing later in the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if it's glitching right now, I'd hate to have that be the debut.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to play a couple tracks, and then we'll come back, talk to Aaron Moore from Reject the Silence, share this with anybody who happened to dip. I did see the numbers dip for a minute. Weird it stopped for me, says Les Zaldor. Drink a real beer. Okay.
Steve Dave, calm down over there, buddy.
All right, so we're gonna play some Suffer It Down, and they're gonna be playing the Kelly Tucker show going on November 27th. Kevin's gonna go grab a beer real quick. We're gonna hold off on the EVA Under Fire thing until toward the end of the show, just to give. See, now numbers are starting to pick back up again. All right, so Kevin really, I think he's just fiending for a cigarette, and he doesn't want to miss the song.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're going to play. So you want me to play 2?
You fucking called it. Yeah. Pick whatever.
All right. So I'm going to play Suffer It Down, their song Old Friend. Then we're going to go into Reject the Silence and their song Cry Out, which is on their new record. Stream stopped glitching for me. Views picking up. Okay. We're playing shit. Okay. So Kevin, go ahead your cigarette. Suffer it down. Suffer it down.
I need my Zimas.
Reject the Silence. We'll be right back. Episode 114 of the Rikki ROXX Show, Rocks100.com.
Seen you in so long. That's not
Hey, this is Ricky Roxx, and you are listening to Rocks100.com.
Keep my thoughts tonight like a freight train running through my mind. Piece together happy dreams. Why my tongue so I will never tell another lie. Peace is never as it seems. How late can you cry out? Hallelujah. Clip the angel's wings, embrace yourself for anything. Place your hands upon the stone, Grasp at shooting stars, it's another time you've gone too far. It's hard to find your way back home. How late can you cry out? Hallelujah. How late can you cry out? Hardly can you cry out? Hallelujah. Hardly can you cry out? Hallelujah. Hardly can you cry out? Hallelujah. Hardly can you cry out? Hallelujah.
All right, we are back. That was Reject the Silence and their song Cry Out. They are going to be playing the Kelly Tucker Celebration of Life going down November 27th. Just dropped that nugget of lemonade goodness on you all. Opening up for Kissing Candace, Suffer It Down, which we heard earlier in the right before Reject the Silence anyway. Casting Shadows, Influence, Wisher, Craft Conviction, special performances by Shudder and Stone Clover. Pre-sale $20. Get those nice in advance. And if you want to be fucking lazy ass and not get it pre-sale, it's going to cost you an extra $5 at the door. So make sure you get those pre-sales in once they announce that. The event page and all that is, from what I heard, going live tomorrow.
Yeah, let's pack the fucking place, man.
At 6 p.m. So we're going to try this for the first time. The numbers are bouncing everywhere, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
It's
and
not
what's
really
what.
storming outside very bad. It's just kind of drizzling. So
all right.
Hopefully you don't lose your internet.
We are going. Oh, I got to move the cameras once we switch over here. We're going to try this for the very first time in Rocks 100 history. We are going to go live on video once I can get this. Never done this before. We're going to try it. All right. Participants, Aaron Moore. There he is. Let's see if we can get him. He's supposed to be popping up anyway.
That's what she said.
Aaron. Oh, here. Aaron.
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good, because we can hear you, just can't see you. So I got to work on that. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing awesome, man. How are you guys doing?
We are doing splendidly, as I'm feverishly trying to
experimental shit, I see.
Yes, you are. I already told you.
You're our guinea pig.
I already told you you're my guinea pig for this one. So I'll keep working on it and all this. See if I can get it in here. What's going on, man?
Not much. Just been revamping everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a fucking minute since, most of us have played shows, but, I mean, shit, when was the last time I played with you guys? I want to say it was, like, Frankie's, when we did that, Like a Storm show, which had to have been fucking years ago.
Yeah, we played with Like a Storm, I think, that was, 3 years ago, man.
All right, so take us through, Reject the Silence, because you guys have gone through some changes. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we completely revamped the lineup and the band. I know that that is kind of the staple in local bands, kind of interchanging members and things like that. But this COVID shit really did a number on a lot of stuff, and one of the things that it did is, affected the schedules of everybody. So right now we have me and Craig, who are the founders of the band, and then we have Les and Matt. Les is our bass player, and Matt's our drummer. And actually, the Kelly show is going to be the kind of coming out party for them too. We're going to see how everything goes.
Oh yeah. Do you guys have anything special planned for that show specifically, since it's obviously, going to be a big deal for all of us, that new Kelly. But with you revamping the band, is there any little nuggets of maybe a surprise that you can give us?
Yeah. There's a couple of our songs that require a second vocalist that we're going to be playing. And I'm the only one in the band who can sing. So I think that we're going to have a couple of songs with some special guest vocalists up there.
Oh yeah.
That's the plan anyways.
Got it. I got his fucking ugly mug on there now. So yeah, take us through, because, knowing some inner workings, knowing the guys in your band, over the years, Derek, the former bass player from the band, he went on, another radio show, promoting his band, Ignoring the Echoes, and, wasn't a lot of, I guess, I don't want to say it, no love lost with him leaving Reject the Silence. Things like he wasn't really into that brand of music that you guys were playing, and it was a thing. I'm like, wow, look at, he's hot taking all over this shit. How did that situation with Derek work out from your side?
That's what I was talking about the scheduling thing, me and Craig have always said from the induction of the band that we'll play anytime for anyone at any location. We would play for a couple of homeless guys behind a dumpster, in the back of a restaurant. We don't give a shit. And, it just got to a point where people didn't want to be involved too much in that. They wanted to save and push for bigger and better shows and stuff like that. And that's just not what we do. We play all the time. And it came down to that actually was one of the first times that I heard anything about our music not being the type of music that anyone in the band wanted to play. And it, I've never heard that we were too heavy for anybody, but it is what it is. You get that many people in a room together trying to create something, and some people are going to have an issue with it, and some people are going to be cool with it, and it's just a matter of which direction you want to take it.
I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say, the music you guys were putting out, at least the last time I played with you, was less heavy than comparatively, the first time I, had been around you when you had started the band. So, I mean, I get that idea, like, if somebody's got like a certain genre or certain things they want to do and they're not doing it, it is what it is. But for that to not be brought up vocally, me personally, I think that's kind of shitty to bring it up after the fact, but it is what it is.
Well, and then kind of going on what Kevin said, I was there when Reject the Silence, first came out, with Kenny and Steve and Craig and Aaron, and it was a hard rock band. And then, when that lineup thing changed and Kenny was gone and Derek came in, you started getting, some of these new songs like Cry Out and Hallelujah and, kind of more, I guess, the softer side of Reject the Silence, now that, and can we attribute that kind of like softer era of Reject the Silence because of who was in the band and who was helping you guys write that, was, the Derek influence, when Derek was in the band and him like kind of, if we've all heard Ignoring the Echoes, a lot slower kind of melodic kind of stuff, were songs like Cry Out and stuff like that, kind of because of the influence Derek had in the band?
I mean, obviously, when you get a bunch of musicians together, everyone's going to have their own influence and the sound that comes out. But like, for example, Cry Out was my baby. I wrote that on acoustic guitar. The songs that we play live are really energetic, and when we play a show, we don't want to have those lulls in the energy level as much as possible. Those songs have always been a staple of the Reject the Silence sound. We've never considered ourselves strictly a hard rock band. We've never considered ourselves a new metal band or a soft rock band or anything like that. We write and then we play whatever we think sounds good. We don't write music that we think people are gonna like. We write music that we want to listen to, and that's it. So yeah, there are certain songs that Derek had an influence on, or other members of the band might have had an influence on, but it didn't stray from the core of what the band's about. We have songs that, we had a song called Ashamed, which is an acoustic ballady type song, and Looking In was an acoustic song. And then on the other side, we have songs like Voices and I Hate You and songs like that are violent and aggressive. You got to have a mixture of both. I mean, no one wants to listen to thrash blast beats for 27 minutes straight.
Kevin does.
Maybe.
No, so I agree with that, and the like, I don't want to go to a show where that's it for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
But I get where you're coming from.
As good as that stuff is, and we talk about it all the time, and Yngwie Malmsteen, one of the best guitar players ever, to the layman concert goer, they're going to enjoy that for about 2 songs. Musicians, guitar players are going to be starstruck and just in awe of the technique and stuff like that. But your average person doesn't want to listen to that shit for an hour and a half or whatever. They want a good variety. They want a good mix. They want songs that they can sing along to, bop their head to, whatever the hell. And then you have other songs where people want to punch each other in the face, and we like to have both of those.
You want songs where you're gonna punch the guy next to you in the face, and then a song right after
where you're putting an ice bag on it,
where you're putting an ice bag and Frenching and giving friendly handies.
Exactly.
The one thing I found interesting though, and like Ricky and I, we've seen you guys, played shows with you guys over the years, but specifically like that show at Frankie's, because I believe it had been quite a while since I had seen you on stage at the very least. It was really cool that those more ballady kind of songs, like literally everyone in the fucking crowd knew all the words to it. And if you're a musician like myself and Ricky and you, when you have a crowd, whether it's 5 people or 50 or 500, and they're singing back your words, it almost doesn't even matter how good you're playing and like how tight your set is. Like, that's that oh shit moment where like nothing can touch that. And for me, it was really cool to see you guys kind of step outside of the box from what I know you to do and put that kind of music out, and people were fucking digging it.
Well, that's kind of the thing, back when I was in Mind Drought, I loved being in that band, and I loved the type of music that we played and everything, but it was very directed at a specific audience. And then, with Bloodline, we had this colossus group of extremely talented musicians, and I was honored to be a part of it, but egos kind of took that ship down. And then
I thought you were the best person in Bloodline. Like, I think I saw you guys at the Diesel, and like you single-handedly made their show so much better. Not that it wasn't good, but you brought like the raw, like crazy factor to it. I personally fucking loved it.
Craig calls me the loose cannon at the band.
The little ball of hate, Aaron Moore.
Yeah, little ball of hate, and that for me, it means a lot. We'll use some of the big name bands out there and shit like that, but I love Stained. I love their music. I can't stand seeing Stained live. That guy, he stands in the middle of the stage and doesn't move, and there's barely any interaction with the crowd or anything like that. But he hits every note. You can't, but that's not memorable to me.
Right.
I like, the Papa Roach puts on one of the best shows that I've ever seen. Nothing more. And them guys, they're so in your face. And that's kind of where I take my cue from. I would rather be remembered for, holy shit, did you see what that guy did? As opposed to, wow, they sounded exactly like they do on the album.
And that brings up a question that we did have in the chat. Sophia asks, new album.
Rise and Fight.
Okay, so the album that you've been waiting on putting out for all these years, is that going to finally see the light of day?
Yeah, we have it all ready to roll. We're actually waiting to kind of coincide with the kind of return back to the stage. And that show is going to be a pretty special show for me for a couple of different reasons. It's the return of the Rooster. Yep.
He's bringing the character back.
Nice.
He's bringing back the Rooster.
Yeah.
I've been waiting.
How drunk are you going to be is the real question.
It depends on when they play. So since we're talking about this show, the Kelly Tucker Celebration of Life thing, November 27th at the Crowfoot in Pontiac. Get your tickets. I think they go on sale tomorrow at 6. Since we're talking about Kelly, we've all been in the same scene together for, I was doing the math when I was up till 8 a.m. A decade and some change, that a lot of us have been kind of perusing around Detroit in the same circles and stuff. I'm sure you have a lot of memories of Kelly, and we played one before we got on the phone with you when you and him did that Black Label song at the New Way when you were just you acoustic. What kind of give us some Kelly stories, some memories you have with the guy.
There's a lot of memories that I have with him. It's kind of funny, but when I first came into the scene, all of you guys were kind of established, and all of you guys kind of still had, you had your cliques and things like that going on. And it was kind of overwhelming for me, and very few people really grabbed onto me as a person. Outside of my stage shows and stuff like that. And the first show that I played where I met Kelly was a Mind Drought show. I think it was I can't remember the fucking name of the venue. They're closed down now. They turned it into the Red Room or some shit.
Was it Rack and Roll?
Rack and Roll.
Yeah.
That was one of the first shows that I ever met him at. And I got off and I came over and he was standing there with a shot of whiskey and gave me a big hug. he was like, man, you earned this. And I had never even met him at that point, you know? And after that, it kind of grew into this friendship that it wasn't like we were best friends where we hung out every single day. And I really wish that I would have had that with him, you know? But it's kind of one of those things where you always like, well, we got time.
Yeah.
We get time, and you don't, you know, and that's the fucked up way that life works. And there was a lot of me and him got together a few times when Shudder was kind of going through their whole situation where Josh wasn't his future with the band was kind of uncertain, and the future of Shudder was uncertain. Kelly was really pushing for me to come and try out.
I was too. As soon as Kelly brought that up, I was like, yeah, that's not a bad route to go. It's different because Josh has a very unique voice and style.
I always wanted to do a song with you guys, man, because I always thought that me and Josh, the way that our voices kind of have that same grit to it and stuff, but on our higher ends and shit, it's so different. But anyways, he was really pushing for me to do that, and we got together a few times. I went over to his house and we had some beers and we're writing, and he actually showed me. We went to it's a funny story, but it kind of goes to the type of guy that he was. Man, we went to the Meyer over by his house, and we were out of beer. And I had $5 and he didn't have any bucks. And he was like, we got to get some beer. He's like, don't worry. You got $5? I got this. I'm like, okay. And he grabbed a 24 pack of some shit beer. I don't fucking remember.
Like Red Dog?
Is this Kevin's hack?
He did the Labatt Blue hack.
The Labatt Blue, that's what it was. And he fucking put in the one can and just rung up the one can out of the handle.
Yep.
And we got the whole 24 pack for like $1.50, and grabbed a couple of Slim Jims. And he's like, "All right, now hurry up, get out of here before they see it." And it was like my first experience with that ever. And we get in the car, and he's like, "I don't even like this beer."
I'm glad that was like his introduction, like, aha, look at how badass I am, because when I first found out about that, I thought it was like complete bullshit until I did it. And then I showed everyone in Shudder, and at that time Kelly worked in loss prevention. So he was like, honestly, even if you got caught, I don't think they could prove like that you did it intentionally. He's like, this is the most genius fucking thing ever.
Dude, he said that exact same thing to me when we got in the car, because I'm all nervous. You know, we just stole a case of beer, basically. And I'm like, get the fuck in the car, let's go. And he's like, dude, even if they catch you, you can't get in trouble. They can't do it. Whatever the price came up, that's, not your fault. Like,
wow. So Chris Tucker in the chat, Kelly's mom, we played, like I said, we played that video clip of you and Kelly doing that Black Label song. She wants to know, are you going to recreate that song at the show?
That song is really hard for me to sing now for a lot of different reasons. Since that night, I've had a lot of loss and tragedy and shit like that. So honestly,
you should do it. I think you should do it. I think you should do it. I think if you're going to do it, this is the show. Definitely the show.
I got an idea. Have you and Josh do it?
Oh no. Look at Aaron. He's like, oh, maybe.
Now the juices are flowing.
No, maybe. I thought about doing something like that, whether it's that song or whether it's another song, because a lot of people don't know. But before he passed, me and him actually were talking pretty intensely about me and him starting something together. And I would send him tracks, and he would send me his response to those tracks. And so there's a couple of songs that I have in the works that I haven't even been able to break out since since he passed. And, you know, it's kind of one of those things like I was talking about earlier, you know, you think that you've got time and you don't.
Yeah, and it's really crazy because, like, Kelly was the kind of person, like you said, you know, as soon as you got off stage, he was like, hey, you earned this, you know. Like, he would make friends with so many people. I remember so many times him and I would go out to random shows, and then, like, 3 or 4 hours later, we'd reconnect, and he'd be like, oh, dude, like, come, we're going to this party here. Like, I met these people, and I'm just like, Mr. fucking social butterfly, you know? Like, he always found a way to just connect with people, and I think that was, like, one of his, not best attributes, but he just found a way to, like, I don't know, interact with people. And it was just so crazy. He could make friends with, like, so many people so quick.
He has that thing that I've always been jealous of guys who have it. And
big
it's
penises. Big, huge mammoth penises. I've heard stories.
No. He had that thing where he was a magnet, man, and people, he would walk into a room and it was like, just everyone was like, who's that guy? Let's go over and talk to that guy. And everybody who came over and talked to him, he big smile on his face and everything like that. And unless he was doing sound.
Yeah.
You know, when he was doing sound, I would go over and I'd be like, hey, what's up? He did sound one night at the Diesel. And I think it was for Suffer It Down. It wasn't Suffer It Down at the time. It was Erica's other band. That was the night that we all went back to Ricky's place and we played acoustic down in the basement.
I got that video too.
He did sound that night, and like we're talking and we're bullshitting, me and him. He's like, "Oh man, it's been forever. Fucking great to see you." And blah blah blah. And then I went to the bathroom and came back, and he's behind the signboard, and I'm go over and try to pick up the conversation a little bit, and he's like, "Not fucking right now."
You know, and it was like a legit thing because, like I said on the show earlier, that Kelly had been in and out of the Rikki ROXX Effect, my old show, like half a dozen times. And I was emceeing shows all the time. And I'd be like, yo, Kelly, come out and MC these shows with me. You know, rather than just being me, it'd be cool to have the co-host there. And it was like this thing where it's like, I'm showing up, Rikki ROXX Effect in the house. Everybody goes to Kelly. And I'm like, what the fuck am I, fucking chopped liver over here? I'm like, I have my makeup on, I'm looking fucking fancy. And, you know, everybody's going to talk to Kelly. And I'm like, what the fuck?
He got shots of Jameson, bro.
It's that thing, you know. And, you know, my biggest thing, you know, with Kelly and the Shutter guys was I'd have you guys on my birthday show every fucking year. And before I could even get my amp in there's Kelly's ass who'd get there an hour early just so he could beat me and beat me to the show. And he'd have like 5 shots of Jameson in his hand, and he'd be like, yo, you can't load your amp in until you down all of these. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. You know, and God bless Josh. Josh is sober as shit now, but when you guys Shutter played my birthday show, Josh came up to me. He's like, yo, bro, I don't drink anymore. A lot of the guys in the band are clean and all this, but need to keep the tradition going. You know, Kelly would have wanted, you know, this on your birthday to continue the tradition. Cause it wasn't just once. Right. It was every fucking year. Oh, yeah. So Josh, stone sober Josh, comes up to me with a shot of Jameson while he's like sipping on like a Kool-Aid or something like that. You know,
Capri Sun.
Yeah, Capri Sun. You know, so it was like that kind of thing. You know, Kelly had that, you know, attraction that pissed me off so much because I'm like, man, I'm totally jealous of it. Because he'd be like, you know, sometimes I'd have to pick him up and shit like that. And he's like, yeah, I just rolled out of bed. And I'm like, bro, I was just in the bathroom for an hour and a half doing my makeup, getting just the right ensemble for this show.
He threw his fucking army camo shorts, cargo shorts, and then a black t-shirt of band whatever. And he was good to go. Yeah, and his chain wall, and then he was good to go.
Yeah, and everybody was like, "Oh man, fucking Kelly Tucker's here," and I'm like,
he got all done up and everything.
And I'm like, dude, I'm here too. They're like, okay, Ricky, we know you're here. You got enough time to talk. We're here for Kelly. I'm like, God damn.
That's how it was, though, you know. And you know, he was one of the people who it's a very well publicized feud that I have going with TKO from Mind Drought.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. First off, fuck that guy.
Yeah, what a shitball.
That guy can suck every dick from here to Mississippi, and I would be happy to line them all up.
I was waiting for that. I'd be right there to watch.
Video camera and all, world record sealed action.
That guy always rubbed me the wrong way. Like that was like the first time I saw you guys, I was like, man, the singer's good. The rest of the band's okay, but man, that fucking dude right there, just something about him makes me. I just want to punch him. Like, I'm not a violent guy by any means, but I was like, something about that guy. He just looks like a piece of shit.
I literally just stumbled on a video of him and his new band, like literally today.
Oh, really?
I was like perusing through Facebook, and then all of a sudden somebody posted a picture. I'm like, is that fucking TKO? What the fuck? He's still playing?
And you know what? It really goes to show that how you react to situations and how you treat people and shit like that. Now, I'm no fucking saint by any means.
What?
Any imagination. I'm no saint. But he's doing cover band bullshit now.
Oh,
and
really?
That's what you get. You know, and he's talented. You can't take anything away from the talent level of somebody like that. But I'll say it again, fuck that guy. He sucks. As a human being, he sucks.
Chris Tucker even said in the chat, Kelly hated that guy too.
To circle back around to my thing, I have a very well publicized in the local scene feud with this asshole, and Kelly was the first one and one of the only ones to fucking step up to the bat and take my side with it. And he called that motherfucker out and was like, you know what? Here's where I'm going to be tomorrow. You can feel free to show up, you little blonde-headed bitch.
He's still rocking the frosted tips.
Oh, my God. Should get him some Jenko jeans.
Really, the fact that, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to draw his line in the sand kind of, and pick and choose sides like that. I'm just some asshole. And he fucking did it because at the core of everything, the dude legitimately believed in right and wrong, and that's true. He had something that not a lot of people have anymore, and that's some sort of fucking honor and integrity.
Right.
And I think is why he has that magnet, around him that people want to be involved in. Is you can sense that shit.
Well, and like Kelly was not shy back in the days to confrontation either.
I know.
Well, all of us fucking know that. I mean, if we ever gotten like fucking tiffs, like fortunately for me, there was a few times where he's like, I'm not gonna lie, I want to knock your fucking block off, but he's like, I'm not gonna do that because I'm obviously bigger than you and it wouldn't be cool.
And we have a show we gotta do.
Yeah, we got a show we gotta do. But I mean, like even like when you and Kelly got in your fight, like there was a couple other times where like shit was going down. He was the first fucking person to step and go, okay, who do I gotta fucking punch?
Yeah.
And over the years, especially like when he started doing sound and going out on tour, he calmed down in that respect, but like you could tell he was grounded. You could tell he found something he was passionate about, but he didn't lose the side of Kelly, like the standing up for what you believe in, like that part of it. It just transformed from him being a muscle into, okay, let's try and approach this diplomatically, but behind closed doors, he'd be like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah. And that really cemented mine and his friendship. And like I said, he quickly became one of those types of friends that like I wouldn't talk to him for a year, and then I'd see him at a show and it would be like we just talked the night before.
Yep.
And that shit was that type of a friendship is pretty rare, and that type of person is pretty rare. I have it with Ricky, I have it with Razlog, I have it with both of you guys, man. I heard you allude to it a little bit earlier. I know you got some questions about it as to why we consider ourselves a Toledo band.
Yeah.
Do it.
Honestly, it's the egos. It's the fucking I'm the most important person in the room attitude that a lot of these local fucking Detroit bands give off. And at the end of the day, we're all fucking playing Simons. We're all playing the Diesel. We're all fucking playing,
wherever. Blue Ridge Rock Festival. Oh, wait.
Yeah, we're fighting for spots at the Token, and we're all getting ripped off on pay-to-plays, and we're all fucking trying to scrape by and everything. EVA Under Fire doesn't happen every day.
Right.
So why the fuck would we not build each other up? When you hear about scenes that hit, the Seattle scene, the LA scene, the New York scene, all these different scenes that hit, it's never one band just hits. It's always, we got to go check out the Seattle scene. We got to go check out the LA scene. And I always thought that there was that period in time, especially when I joined Bloodline, with all the different bands that we had around, that we could have had that here. We could have had that, oh my God, you got to check out what's going on in Detroit type of attention. But there's so much fucking, I don't care about these guys. It's actually a conversation that I had with somebody the other day. It's called the crab mentality. And that is, if you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, even if the crabs can get out, they won't get out because they're too busy trying to hold the other crabs back from getting out. They actually grab them and pull them back, as opposed to allowing everybody to get out. And the Detroit music scene, from what I remember and everything that I've been involved with, had that. It was that crab mentality. It was, I've been in bands who, after I left the band, they didn't want to play on a show, and I was like, man, this would be a fucking great show. This would be a killer show to have all of these guys on this band on this show together from all these bands and everything. It would sell out and it would garner some attention and everything. But it was like, no, I don't want to get shown up, and I take that as a fucking compliment.
Yeah, I think there was actually, like, kind of, from our, I guess, years of playing together, I think there was a little bit of a golden era, if you want to call it that, when there was, like, you guys, Shudder, Fall Prey, After the Tide, like...
Dirty Whiskey.
But the thing that made it cool was we didn't try to show up each other. We would see how awesome the other band played, and we'd be like, all right, guys... we really got to step our game up tonight. That kind of...
But even if it was, like, if, Mind Drought or Shudder, was playing a show and the rest of us didn't have shit going on.
We would all go.
We were all there, just to check our boys out and support and all that,
Yep.
And that's, I guess what you were kind of going with the quote-unquote golden era.
Well, I remember, like, every Friday and Saturday night, Kelly would be like, all right, we're going here. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Doesn't fucking matter. Okay, cool. And, like, 90% of the time, it ended up being a really cool fucking night. I'd run into, someone in band whatever, and then next thing you know, we're playing a show with them.
Yeah.
There was that camaraderie, and, like, it wasn't to one-up the other bands, but you fed off of... dude, their set was fucking killer. We need to bring it. We want to keep the show intensity high. We want this show to not have a lull. It wasn't well, fuck those guys. We need to be better than them. I think it was like a really constructive, good time.
I just want to get drunk.
And that shit kind of formulated my whole opinion on the thing. A lot of guys don't want to open for other acts and stuff. I prefer to be the first band out. I'm going to set the fucking tone for the night. And I dare you to try to follow me.
Erica, you heard it here first.
I think if everybody has that type of mentality of, I'm going to go out there and I am going to put on the best fucking show and I'm going to make this shit as good as it can possibly. Holy shit, did you see what that guy did? Type of mentality. It is, in a sense, when you're on the show with other people, it is almost like a challenge, and it is almost like a competition. Who's going to be the best band of the night? That is okay. That's healthy competition.
Right.
What you get the whole arms folded, fucking nope, standing there like that. going, oh my God, no matter how good these guys are, I'm still going to talk shit to them about. And, did you see that, they had some technical difficulties in the third fucking song? We never would have had that.
Right.
And that type of mentality is ridiculous. So we moved to the Toledo scene as our primary scene on accident, really. They were just the first place that gave us a shot, really. So we went down there and we played our first show down there, and it was like night and fucking day in comparison to the Detroit scene at the time. It was more like how the Detroit scene was when I first came into it. I've told the story several times about how I went on another radio station. I'm not gonna talk about
probably the one Kevin's in bed with. It's all right.
So I went on that, and I remember sitting in the green room. They were doing a 24-hour straight thing.
Oh, that was tap. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sitting in the green room and I'm practicing my guitar, and through the door walks fucking RIKKI ROXX and Jason Kane. And I'm sitting there and I go,
I love this story.
The egos that just walked in. Whoo!
Yeah. You could feel all the air just immediately get sucked out of the room.
Jason Kane starts spinning, ripping a solo.
Play these two douchebag egos. But as a rookie and having never, all I did was I did my research on the scene at the time. And before that, I had never even been in a band. And they walk in and I'm like, holy shit. There's fucking RIKKI ROXX and there's Jason Kane. I'm in the same room as these fucking rock stars. and then fast forward.
That wore off really quick.
Yeah, it wore off pretty quick. Fast forward like 5 years. Ricky's one of my best friends, and fucking I'm in a band with Kane, and I immediately realized it's a projection,
I was gonna say perception's an interesting thing, isn't it?
It really is. It really is, and that I think kind of, and don't take any offense to this, Ricky.
Offense taken.
Okay, I haven't even said it. That I think is one of the major problems with music that we have right now is you have this alter ego of who you are that you're trying to portray.
Wait, but didn't you just say the rooster's coming back and you're bringing back the rooster? And isn't that an alter ego?
But you've hung out with me. That's really me.
How do you know RIKKI ROXX isn't really me?
I do know RIKKI ROXX is you to an extent. To an extent. But I am that asshole, and it's honest. It's an honest part of my life. And I was more alluding to the Jason Kane portion of that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I get exactly where you're coming from. I think the one thing that I appreciate is people that carry themselves in a professional manner and obviously put a lot of work into their craft, and you got the Rickies and Jason that get all done up, but when you can go and approach them and talk to them, that's the big thing. And there's a lot of people that I think, I was in your shoes too when I joined Shudder. I had never really been in a band that did absolutely anything. So anytime I met anyone, I was like, oh my God, this person's a huge fucking deal. But the ones that always stuck out in my mind were the ones that you could just be like, hey, awesome set, here's a fucking shot. And they'd be like, oh, dude, thank you so much. And then, you start bullshitting. And there's been instances where I'd walk up to, whoever, and I'd be like, oh, man, your guys' band so was great. Cool, thanks. And then they would just, walk away. It's come on, man,
Yeah,
and 6 months later, you're opening for my band, and it's just oh, how the turntables, But,
and that's how it is. That's really one of the major issues that I have. We'll use EVA Under Fire as an example here.
World debut coming up after the interview.
Yep.
Every single time I hang out with them guys, it is a fucking blast.
Yep.
And they're the most down to earth fucking people, and they so far now we'll see how it goes once they start getting a little more popular, since they're signed and got the fuck out of Detroit.
Hey, to interrupt you real quick, Chris has been super forthcoming about calling into the show while they're on tour, doing tour updates. You know, I even told him, you know, when they fired me for their big label tour manager, I even was like, hey, I've got a You Owe Me card, and I'm gonna play it when I'm good and ready. And they were like, yeah, dude, like no problem. Like Chris, everyone else in that band so far has still been the same awesome people that we know. I really don't foresee that changing because they are such genuine people. I think we might be a little lucky in that sense, though, because not a lot of people are that nice.
Yeah, if I got signed to a big record deal,
I'd be like, fuck Detroit.
I'd be like, fuck Detroit. I'm never stepping foot in this dumpster fire ever again. I'm out. Peace,
I honestly
bitches.
might be the same way, and it's hard to tell until that happens. I do have an example of you know, Nothing More. I love that band. They're fucking great guys and everything. And before they got big, they each had their own individual Facebooks and everything like that. And me and my guitar player were really into that band.
He has a name. His name's Craig.
Yeah. I know his name, Dave.
You just keep going. My drummer, my bass player, they have names, Aaron. I know you have a lot of turnover, but I'm sure you can remember them.
I don't have any guitar player turnover in this band.
Wow,
you're
that's a
lucky
rarity.
Guy. Lucky guy.
This is actually my favorite guitar player I've ever played with, and he'll say that he's the least talented, and he talks so much shit about it himself. He's so deprecating that it makes me want to throw the fuck up. But the motherfucker knows how to write a song, and a lot of our songs they come off of him. He'll write these riffs and shit, and they're so unique and everything. And then he's like, well, you know, I'm no shredder, I'm no fucking this or that. And I'm like, yeah, but that's a great fucking song, man. Like that solo in Cry Out, you guys just played Cry Out.
Mm-hmm.
That solo is one of my favorite solos out of any song that I've ever been involved in from any band. And I was in a band with Jason Kane, who is well known as being this great shredder. And I was in a band with TKO, who's well known as being a great guitar player and also a douchebag.
I was waiting for it.
You know what's funny? Tucker would always be the same way. Oh, yeah, you know, I'm not the best guitar player. Dude wrote Black and White. Dude wrote Change. Dude wrote Clarity. Like, some of our better fucking songs.
Clarity is one of my favorite songs, period. Not just from a local band. It is one of my favorite fucking songs. And to know that he wrote that, dude, that is one of the reasons that...
And let's not get ahead.
That riff was fucking dope.
The guy could play a solo if he needed to.
Oh, yeah. He undersold himself way too much.
If you gave him time, like I remember when he was in Through Our Eyes, they did Fade to Black by Metallica.
Yep.
And he could have easily just passed.
That video's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. I think I might have taken it too. You know, he could have easily handed that off to Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, play this, and I'll just rock rhythms and shit like that. And Kelly took charge of it. And once he got his amp fucking working,
yep,
he fucking ripped it. He fucking killed it and played it just as it was supposed to be played. The guy could play.
I mean, I don't know if most people know this. He was actually a decent drummer too. Like when we played at the Loft. Like, he would purposely get there either early or when I drove with him, he'd run up there and, like, already have the door unlocked and be shredding on my fucking drums. And, like, it was so funny. There would be plenty of times where, like, he would write a riff, and I'm, like, fucking around trying to come up with a drum beat. He's like, let me hop back there real quick. And I remember the first time he said that, I didn't know, like, he could actually play. And I was just like, okay, like, I'll figure out what he's trying to do. And, like, he literally played, and I was like, oh, wow. I was like, that's really fucking good. And, like, that's what I fucking used. I didn't expect it at all.
And that's how it is, you know, you got these, I think that anybody who can hold back their ego as far as how good they are as a musician are the most genuine, and those are the people that you want to formulate your personality after.
Right.
You know, those are the great people. Those are the great, like I've always said, I'm not a singer, I'm a front man, and I'll put myself up against any fucking front man on the planet. Singing, you know, maybe not.
That's what I tell people. I'm not a bass player, I'm an entertainer.
Exactly.
But the big thing is owning it, right? Like, there's some people that struggle with that part of it. Like me personally, I like to think I'm a pretty good drummer, but I know what my bad habits are. I know, you know, for instance, if I have a show, if I drink X number of beers, like my show's going to go from pretty good to really shitty. You know, like I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. But like that's not going to stop me from seeing, you know, another band and like their drummer just blows my fucking mind. And I'm like, holy fuck, I need to go talk to that guy. Like,
well, I think that comes down to the fact of where you're actually give a shit about your craft. You know, you don't think that you're at the top of your game, and the second that you start getting comfortable and like, oh, I'm the best that there is, you're done. That's just the way that it is. You know, you go, I can always improve. I can always get better. And realistically, you know, every single show that we play, we think that we're the worst band of the night.
So this leads me to the question, you know, since we're promoting Kelly's show going on November 27th, a couple days after Thanksgiving at the Crowfoot, is there any band on that lineup where you're like, man, I kind of want to check them out? And yes, this is a trick question.
Reject the Silence.
Other than your own band, because you're gonna have.
I want to see how they do. No, I'm really hyped to see Suffer It Down. Me and Erica have been talking for quite a while. She's actually the reason why we are on the show. Kiss and Candace I've never seen. I'm pretty interested to see what Shudder is going to bring to the table, since Kevin won't give any fucking any details out about what they're planning. I think that it's just going to be a let's get back to what Kelly was all about type of show. I think that there isn't really a band that I'm looking forward to seeing. It's more of a
huge fail.
The crowd that I'm looking forward to seeing.
The experience is what I think you're going towards, and I agree.
I was looking forward to, man, I can't wait to see Casting Shadows and Rikki ROXX playing in a band with Kevin Raslog.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Aaron's seen me play in multiple bands. He knows what to expect.
I've played with Ricky. I've seen you guys play. I'm more interested in seeing the atmosphere of the night.
I agree.
If it's what I have in my head as what's going to actually happen, I think it's going to be one of the best shows that I've been privileged enough to be a part of. And that, you know, we're going to see how much that motherfucker meant to this scene.
For sure. I expect it to be ass to nuts packed.
That's not, it should be, you know, the people who knew him, you know, when he was, because there's a whole, you know, I found this out, you know, kind of firsthand talking to people, you know, people that knew Kelly as the guitar player and people who knew Kelly in the sound guy era. You know, they're two totally different.
And then go to the people that knew him before music.
And then there's family and people who knew him outside of all the music stuff. Okay, so there's like three different sects of life and times in his life. And, you know, it's like even when he was playing in Through Her Eyes and Shudder, he was probably one of the most popular guys in either of those bands. And, you know, even take it back to when he was in Silent Divide, you know, he was one of the most popular guys in the band. I was talking to Tim, you know, from Blue to Gray, and he's like, dude, Kelly was always super popular.
Social butterfly.
You know, he was always super popular. So it's like you have that sect of people, you know, people that saw Shudder for that era or Through Our Eyes and, you know, Silent Divide, and that knew him and loved him. And interested to see, how many of those people come out for this show. And then there's the sound guy era, where he was working at St. Andrews Hall, Machine Shop, Diesel, Hot Rock, and I'm probably missing half a dozen other venues, and Simon's After Dark in Allen Park, Michigan. And then, his tour family, bands that, he went out with, Kiss and Candace being one of them, and AKC, who are very upset that they're not on the show. I just got to throw that out there as well. Waylon, love Waylon Rivas, but, all these different people, I'm excited to see, as Aaron said, seeing these people come out to, I don't want to say pay tribute, because Kelly would be like, dude, what the fuck, pay tribute? What the fuck are you talking about, pay tribute? Just have people come out and have a fucking good time, have a couple shots, and go to a fucking rock show, but to kind of go out there and recognize, Kelly's life.
Well, it's crazy you bring that up, because I'm obviously selling these decals, and a lot of people are messaging me, oh, hey, I want X number of what, and they're like, yeah, I don't know if you know who I am, but I went to middle school, or I met you guys at, and we'll talk for 5 or 10 minutes, but it just, he touched so many people in so many different areas, whether it was music,
penises, butts, everywhere.
He touched me in special areas.
I think there was another person that was like, yeah, I met him at a show. I was, I was there, broke up with my girl, and he bought me a shot, and then after, all these different stories are coming out. People are just chit chatting with me about, and I'm like, damn, dude, what a fucking cool legacy. All these random people you just ran into once at a show or a bar, and
that's kind of the shitty thing, is everything that he did throughout, his time in the scene and everything. All that shit was just about to culminate into this fucking... I gotta believe that if EVA was doing what they're doing now, and they're going on tour and shit, they probably would have taken Tuck with them.
They were
going to take him out.
You know what I mean? And to watch that rise and that he would have had, that's kind of heartbreaking and everything. It really is. And also, fuck that guy, because he had that. If I swear to God, if you could have put what he had, just that natural gift that he had, into that, is every single frontman on the fucking planet wants that. And he had it, and he considered himself a rhythm guitar player, fucking behind the scenes guy. And he had that natural fucking thing, and it's a rarity, and we all strive for it, and we all want it, and this motherfucker had it. He legitimately
had it in spades. He had enough to bottle that shit up and still have enough left for him.
I think one of the most disappointing things, though, is since I referenced that golden era of our scene, the fact that a band comprised of people we all knew was going to take Kelly to do their sound. So it was it was the perfect storm of all these years of us meddling around doing this. There was going to be 6 or 7 people that finally broke out. And that was what I was more stoked for. Even when Ava fired me, I was like, dude, I'm fucking stoked for you guys. Oh, Kelly's going to be doing sound for you guys? Fuck yeah. All of our boys are finally going to just
somebody can finally
somebody's getting over that plateau, right? And for me, it was a win for our generation scene, whatever.
Our generation, our generation of boomers.
I don't even know how to phrase it, but
fucking rock and roll boomers,
right? But it was just so cool because we all came from different areas, did different things. Kelly, I would have never imagined getting into sound, right? And then all of a sudden you got Ava, they're planning on going out on tour. Kelly's doing sound. There was just so much awesome shit happening. And I think that's one of the hardest things to just deal with, is that he was on a really, really good path. And I truly believe he would have fucking slayed it. No questions asked. But, unfortunately, we're not going to get to see what, that experience would have been for him, which kills me, because the dude fucking put a lot of work in.
Well, it is heartbreaking and everything like that, but now it falls on everybody else. Now it falls on everybody to kind of fucking make that happen for him, type of a situation. Let's go out and have a great fucking show. Yep. Every single show, go out and have a good show. Stop with the bullshit fucking rivalries and everything, except TKO. Fuck that guy. Let's bring that shit back, man. But that whole pack Simons, pack the token, pack fucking, and we're gonna find out on November 27th how much that motherfucker meant and what we can actually do.
Right.
And I think that is the legacy that he's gonna leave behind, more so than the sound, or more so than the I don't know if I've ever met somebody who gave a shit about their scene more than that guy.
Right.
And we're gonna find out how much of a shit the scene gave about him, and if we can carry that shit on. And I think we need to, otherwise his legacy disappears, and we are all fucking cunts and douchebags if we allow that to happen.
All right. So, Aaron, we were at 9 o'clock. We all know how you're a stickler for talking. The other 2 times you were on this show, we went way over as well.
We go over all the time.
Well, with Aaron, we could talk for could talk for hours and hours about all the awesome stuff. You know, one question I wanted to ask, getting back to Reject the Silence, you know, with COVID and all that, we never even asked the COVID question, which is something I ask everybody. You know, you have the new bass player. You know, I thought for a second Steve Land was going to come back, but that obviously didn't happen. You know, with COVID and all this, you know, how did you go about, I guess this might be two-pronged, but how did you go about revamping Reject the Silence? And was there ever a time where you're like, really, we got to rehash this shit again and teach, you know, because Jeff from casting, this was his big issue. Whenever we had to replace somebody, fuck, now we got to teach a new guy all the songs again. Right. This sets us all back. You know, was there ever a point where you're just like, okay, Craig, let's just start something new. You know, start something new, or was it like, hey, let's keep Reject the Silence going? And how did you find these guys? And what's been the process so far?
Honestly, they just kind of came to us through various channels and everything. But no, that thought process has never entered either mine or Craig's brain. I think that every time you revamp the lineup, or even the sound or anything like that, direction of the band, whatever you want to call it, it gives you an opportunity to go, okay, well, these are the mistakes that we made with these other members of the band, and we're not going to fucking do it again. And we can bring them up, you know, in the forefront, so that they know what they're expecting, and we know that they know what they're expecting. As far as, well, we got to teach them the same songs, or we got to teach this and that again, that is a minuscule part of it. What's more important to us is, let's write some shit. And I will tell you this, we have about 4, this is kind of a teaser, but we have about 4 or 5 new tracks that we're going to be debuting at the show. And they are the best shit that we've ever wrote. Period. It's the best music that we've ever written, and that is more important to us than, okay, can you pick up the songs that, you know, somebody else wrote and add your own flair, and can you nail it, and blah blah blah, all of that shit. Obviously you want them to be able to do that for your staples and whatever, but how we create together is more important. And we create really well together right now.
Hell yeah.
All right, so you got this show, November 27. Are you guys, is that the kickoff to Reject the Silence being back out? You guys are back in action, or are you guys going to play this show, then kind of just be like, okay, let's hang back, let's work on whatever we need to work on, and then come back out? Or what's the plan going forward for you guys pretty much going into 2022?
Our plan is to fucking play constantly. If it were up to me, we would play every single night. But it's not up to me. It's up to the venues, and hopefully we don't get shut back down. But no, we're not turning down shows. We're not going on any sort of a hiatus for any particular reason other than, there's no shows available for us to get on or whatever the case may be. We're planning on releasing this album and moving on to the next chapter, which will be the next album. Hopefully we get into the studio spring, summer-ish, and we have another album ready to go by the end of next year. That's the plan. And we want to get back to playing as often as we possibly can. And we definitely want to stretch our reach. That is, I think, the plan for 2022 is to get the fuck out of our comfort zone. Get to the Indianas, get to the Kentuckys, get to the New Yorks, get to the, those types of places.
That was going to be my question to you, because I know you guys have played basically all of, lower Michigan, Ohio, like that general area. Ricky found out, when we went on that little run, going out to new states, while the show may not necessarily turn out to be as kick-ass,
super fun.
There's a lot of fun aspects to it, and it can lead to more things, which I understand some bands going, oh, we don't want to drive 10 hours to Philly to not get played. But it's like, well, if you impress that person, who knows? They may pay you anyways, or they may say, hey, dude, we'll bring you back and give you this much. Like, there's got to be that little bit of a risk involved, because I feel like when you're in a band, if you don't take risks, you're just fucking yourself. So I'm really hoping that, you guys stretch it out, within reason that's economical, but, take that risk, have some fun, and go play some new areas.
Absolutely. And we, anytime you change members, or anytime that you come back from a hiatus or whatever, there's this renewed sense of energy within the band. And we have that right now, and I want to take advantage of that and kind of bottle it and
for sure
unleash it. And, going back to EVA and stuff, the ability to be in close contact with somebody like Slapnik really helped us to kind of take a step back and go, all right, this is what we need to do. Because if anybody asks that guy, like, what did you guys do and what do we need to do, he'll straight up tell you.
Yep.
He is not, and that's one of the things that I like about him, is he's not the type of person to hide how they got to where they are.
Right.
And he doesn't have that, what we were talking about earlier, that crab mentality where, oh, I'm not going to tell you.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you what we did because that might take away from us. He doesn't give a shit. And, he gave me some pretty good pointers as to what is important and what people are looking for. And
so go into that for 1 second. Let's see how much of a crab mentality Aaron Moore has. What are some things that Chris Slapnik told you? Hey, this is what your band needs to do.
First off, it's something that we're horrible at in this band. Is social media marketing. Mm-hmm. We're fucking awful at it.
I mean, I think most bands need to work at it. It's one of those things that's tough, though, because there's not like a book or a guide to it.
Yeah, it really is difficult, but that is the number one thing that he told us, that we, your stage show can be as good as it is, but if nobody knows who the fuck you are, ain't nobody gonna see your stage show. None of that stuff matters. And then there's something, he called it, I forget what the exact terminology he used, but it was like, focused marketing, where they would go out on tour or something along those lines. And, he would focus their marketing to that specific area.
Yep. Targeted marketing.
Yep.
Yeah, targeted marketing. There it is. Not focused. Sorry. I blame this.
Canadian Mist. The drink of Aaron Moore.
The drink of Aaron Moore. that targeted marketing thing. You know, there's no sense in me marketing the band in Los Angeles if we're going to be playing in fucking Nashville next week. It's, you know, so there's a lot of stuff that we're going to start to do. Luckily, our bass player has a lot of experience with that.
It's funny. This is all stuff I told Aaron when he came on the show in your seat and sat there. And he's like, "Oh, well, I don't do social media. Fuck social media. Fuck that." Chris Slapneck comes up and is like, "Do this." He's like, "Well, now we're going to start to work on it."
Well, you know, Chris Slapneck got signed.
So honestly, it's one of those things where like we see the proof. So it kind of leads credence to, okay, well, if they were able to make it, these are the things they did. At the worst, what happens if we do it and it doesn't work? We'll be in the same boat if we don't do it.
Well, and what I was alluding to when I was on your show that time is I hate the fact that our fucking industry has come down to where that is the most important fucking thing.
Agreed.
It used to be, you go and you see a band, and if the band is fucking good, then the band moves on. And that's not what it is anymore. Now it's how many followers and how many interactions do you have, and how often are you on social media, and how much money can we make off of advertising for your YouTube videos and shit like that. So it's less about the music, and it's more about how popular you can make yourself. And that isn't taking anything away from EVA. I think they're a great band and everything like that. And they fucking nailed the social media marketing aspect.
Well, that's why they got to where they are, because one, yes, they're a good band, or they're a great band. They have great songs. And two, they kind of, you know, quasi-mastered that social media thing. So when you get those two that, you know, work in conjunction together, magical things will happen. You know, you can have all the money in the world and be a social media fucking guru, but if your band fucking sucks, your band's gonna fucking suck.
Well, I mean, you gotta approach it like, A, you gotta have everyone on the same page. B, you gotta have something that's good. Not like we're band whatever 2.0. You gotta be passionate, and then you gotta have the bankroll and know-how to invest in it. And that's just the capitalistic society we live in nowadays. I mean,
it's not only the capitalistic society that we live in, it is the like society that we live in.
I like to say
I want it now.
I like to say numbers driven. What you're saying is 100% true.
Analytics driven.
But if we're looking at it from a label perspective, like when I worked at Chrysler, every little fucking thing is done to the penny. If it takes 3 minutes longer, it's going to cost us this much more. That's how everything is in society. Like, whether it's packaging up this fucking beer to booking a tour, like, everything's just, it's all mitigated and compartmentalized. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I kind of alluded to, you know, the same aspect of an artist.
Mm-hmm.
If you have somebody who draws this badass picture, nobody looks at the art anymore. They look at, okay, well, how many likes did you get on Instagram?
Right.
How many, you know, retweets?
Who made this picture? You know, who is it?
They don't sit there and they look at the picture and actually get anything from the picture.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the major problems with music now is they don't actually give a fuck about the goddamn music.
Right.
They give a fuck about, okay, well, all of my friends like this band, so I'm going to go like this band too. They must be awesome because they have 100,000 fucking followers on Facebook or on Twitter. That it detracts so far away from what being a musician is actually about, and it's a completely different aspect than I ever thought was going to be an issue when I picked up the guitar when I was 13.
Well, what this is now is the era of the DIY. You know, where it's the band that is, you know, the band does everything. And that even includes things that back in the 80s and 90s that the major record labels would do.
Yeah.
You know, if this were the same environment where, you know, you had A&R guys that were just dumping millions of dollars into a band, all this stuff that bands have to do now is stuff that the labels were doing way back then. You know, they spent the money on the promotion.
And then they realized from analytics it's not worth their fucking time.
they'd have guys that would be in charge of marketing and promotion, and they'd be like, well, you guys just worry about the music. We'll handle all the marketing and promotion. Now in the DIY thing, where it's, you know, bands don't need that anymore, you get saddled with that extra workload that back in the 80s and 90s record labels would take care of, and A&R guys and managers would take care of. All that now gets saddled with the band.
And nowadays, most managers are...
Did we lose you?
He's still there. He might have hit mute.
Did you mute yourself?
Uh-oh. He's still there.
Aaron, we can't hear you no more.
And he had a contract ready to go. And me and Craig were both like, we tell everybody the same thing. You want to get involved in this band and the promoting and booking and aspects of that. We only have one requirement: get us into the machine shop, because for some reason we can't get into the machine shop.
Yeah.
Get us into the machine shop. If you can get us into the machine shop, we'll hitch our fucking wagon to you and we'll ride with you. And nobody can deliver that. They're like, oh, well, you get into the machine shop. But what is your fucking job? You know, like, that is your job is to get us the shows. We'll do the marketing. We'll do the writing. We'll do the creating. We'll do the lugging. We'll do the touring. We'll do the promoting. We'll do all of that shit. You get us the show. And nowadays it's more like, all right, you do all of the work and give me money.
Dude, what you're saying is 100% truth, and I've said this numerous times. EVA was literally hands down the easiest band for me to book for, because they would do so much shit on their own. My inbox would be flooded, where I didn't even have to like actively book. I would just look at their calendar and be like, oh, well, this date's open, this date's open. How much? Oh, wow, you're going to pay them $1,200? Okay, I'll pencil that in. But they did enough of the work on their own to where it was easier. And then when I would obviously have to fill in dates and they would say, hey, can you find us something here? I would have tangible evidence to be like, oh, hey, this is why you need this band. The machine shop is not an easy venue to get into, but if you have a good product, and especially if you're like a local-ish band, you'll find an opportunity eventually. But if somebody's making you sign a contract and they can't even give you that, I would totally question.
Well, the machine shop, you know, is, you know, God bless Kevin Zink, you know, but he runs, it's very old school with him.
Right.
You know, if you support his bar, like if you're at the machine shop for all these shows and you have enough FaceTime, they'll be like, oh, so you're in a band, kind of thing like that. That's how I've heard from every single band that's gotten into the machine shop. They're like, oh shit, Kevin's seen you here, you know, and Kevin will start responding to emails out of nowhere. You know, you make that FaceTime and you talk to him and you show that you're supporting his venue.
Right.
He'll kind of like bend over backwards for you, be like, dude, you've been supporting this venue for years and years. Yeah, your band's not half bad.
I mean,
we can put you on first on this local show, see how you do.
I was even happy to get rejection emails. Hey, sorry, the In Flames show doesn't have local support.
Well,
to me, that goes a long way, because most of the time they'll just not respond.
He runs it the way venues used to in like the 90s, where it's like a show FaceTime, show you're supporting, and he'll throw you on a Thursday local $5 show. Okay, fucking kill it. Okay, hey, I got this spot. You know, a band dipped off this non-point show. Would you guys be open to opening the show?
And like, that's kind of how it is to an extent. Like when we played in Indiana at Pierre's. Shit fucking night. Not a lot of people there, but we made the best of the situation. And I just so happenly was talking to the bartender. I was like, who do I need to talk to about booking here? He's like, that person over there. I'm like, can I buy you guys a round of shots? Next thing I know, she's like, oh, here's the book for the rest of the year. What shows are you interested in? So it's like a lot of it is creating those opportunities for yourself and just being cool and nice. And then the other is being persistent and having a good product too. I mean, at the end of the day, though, if you're paying somebody to get you into somewhere and they can't, unless they have a very, very good reason why they can't get you into it, it's not worth paying.
Yeah. All right. So
That is honestly exactly what happened to us in Toledo. And that is one of the reasons why we consider ourselves a Toledo band also, is because they'll hit us up and be like, hey, you use Nonpoint. They'll be like, hey, you guys want to get on this Nonpoint show? Do you guys want to play with, Head PE? Do you want to play with Shaman's Harvest? Do you know? And all of them are yes, but the shows got bigger and better and things like that. So that just never happened for us in the Detroit scene, I think is the major reason why we ended up being considered a Toledo band.
All right.
Fair enough.
So Aaron, we're at 9:30. We're a half hour over already. We still have a world debut, EVA Under Fire, that we have to play. It looks like our streaming issues have seeded. You know, we were freaking out there for a minute. You got anything else you want to throw out there to anybody listening, anybody that might be listening tomorrow, anything like that you want to throw out about Reject the Silence or anything you got going on?
Follow us on all of the bullshit social medias that we already mentioned. You can look us up on Facebook, Reject the Silence, SoundCloud, Reject the Silence, all that type of stuff and everything. And keep your eyes peeled for singles to be hitting and the album to be dropping anytime. We do have a plan, and we are going to fucking destroy the Crowfoot when it comes to that day.
Hell yeah.
November 27th, throwing that up again. The Kelly Tucker Celebration of Life, Suffer It Down, Casting Shadows, Influence, Wisher, Reject the Silence, Craft Conviction, Shudder, and Stone Clover, Crowfoot Ballroom in Pontiac, Michigan. So, Aaron, dude, thanks for being the guinea pig the first time doing the video thing. I think it actually worked. Kevin actually sounded better, than our phone calls.
Yeah, no, definitely did.
And Aaron, I'm going to leave you with one more question. You have one song to pick from. I'm going to give you 4 songs here.
Okay.
Reject the Silence, Inside Out. We have This War by Reject the Silence. Prayer by Reject the Silence. Or Shudder and Clarity.
Ooh.
You get to pick one. Do you want to promote your own band or you want to go Shudder?
I'm gonna pick 2. Fuck you. I'm going Clarity and Prayer.
There we go.
Clarity and Prayer. All right, so we're gonna get off the line with you and play these 2 tracks, and then we're gonna come back, wrap this up, and then we're gonna end the show with the world debut of the new EVA Under Fire song, Comatose. Aaron, dude, always a pleasure. 3rd time's a charm. It fucking killed it. Only went a half hour over this time. It wasn't an hour like last time, and I got to throw this out there too. Your boy JJ, he was in the chat as well. He said ready to play live, and he's he was watching the stream for a little bit, but I think he got tired of watching Dad talk about his bullshit. And
it happens.
Chris Tucker was in there.
Patty
Kish was in there. Sophia Metal Diva says, and LJ was in there. Super cool. Patty Kish says Prayer. So what were the 2 songs that we're going to do? Clarity and what?
Prayer.
Okay. I just had to make sure.
Apparently Patty Kish knows a little Reject the Silence. What?
Patty Kish.
This is also a world exclusive.
Oh, there it is. We're getting world exclusives everywhere. All right, Aaron, take it easy, bro. We will see you on November 27th. I will talk to you soon, bro.
All right. Love you guys, man.
Take it easy, dude.
Take it easy. All right, that was Aaron Moore from Reject the Silence. Let me switch it. We'll just play a song, then I'll switch it over. So we're going to play Clarity by Shudder. We're going to play Prayer by Reject the Silence. We're going to come back, wrap this up real quick, because I know Kevin's like, I gotta
work from home tomorrow.
Go to work from home tomorrow.
So I was supposed to drive down to Lincoln Park at 7 a.m. That just canceled, so I'm not as urgent.
So you're good.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to play some Clarity by Shudder, then Prayer by Reject the Silence. We're going to wrap this thing up and then end the show with the world debut of Comatose by EVA Under Fire. I know everybody's been waiting diligently for this.
Hey,
So,
the numbers are holding strong.
I know, because they're all waiting for EVA Under Fire. All right, we'll be right back after this, episode number 114 of the Rikki ROXX Show, right here on Rocks100.com.
shepherd blindly is taken all astray. Heed your Savior's call and hope their questions fall away. He'll destroy us all to prove his way. When they finally realize that all the blood spill was for lies. If you're real, just take me away. I can hear you calling to me. I wanna believe, just show me the way. But until then, I'm on my own. I can't face this world alone. And I know I'll be okay. When they finally speak the truth, that muddy water flows from you. I will find a way to realign my name. When they finally speak the truth, that bloody water flows from you. I will find a way to get above my knees. When they finally realize that all the blood spill was for lies. So if you're real, just take me away. I can hear you calling to me. I wanna believe, just show me the way. But until then, I'm on my own. I can't face this world alone. And I know I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Gotta love that echo.
There it is. Let me turn that other echo off on that side. All right, that was Reject the Silence and Prayer. Very cool song. Then we played some Shudder in their song Clarity. Kevin Raslog, what do you think of that interview with Aaron Moore for an unprecedented third time on this show?
Oh man, I always love talking to Aaron. Like we obviously mentioned during the interview, we all go back. So even though we haven't reconnected, as often, with COVID and shit, but like,
and we're all middle-aged men now,
right? But like Aaron said, over the years of like all of us kind of doing our thing, it's not uncommon for 6 or 8 months to go by and then just a random message, or you run into him at a show. And that's kind of like I said before, like the golden era of music, like when we were nobodies and we just went out and loved playing. We still kind of, have that mentality. Just like you can hit someone up, it's been a while, and it's like you don't miss a beat.
We still have those relationships,
right?
I was asking Aaron, like Kelly stories. He's like got so many of them,
right? Yeah.
And it's like, I don't see a lot of these guys out as much anymore because, life and shit like that. We're all, Aaron's got 5 million fucking kids floating around. And, so he's, we're not 27, 28 years old anymore. We're all inching closer to 40 and life and shit like that.
And you have priorities too.
Even reconnecting now, it's like, Aaron's one of my best friends in the world. I can talk to that guy about fucking anything,
Right.
because he's pretty much gone through it all,
Yep.
so, and stuff like that. I don't see him a lot. I'll head down to his place, once or twice a year.
It's cool that the relationship hasn't wavered. Like, you could still hit that person up even though it's been a year, 2 years, whatever.
Well, it's the same thing. We dropped a lot of Ava and stuff like that. I don't see, I don't know if she goes by Amanda or Ava anymore, but Amanda and Rob, like reconnecting with him at my birthday show and stuff like that back in May, hadn't seen him in a long time, probably a year and some change, but it was still, hey, Ricky, how's the family? How's all this? How's the band? How's at the birthday show, I was out there,
personable.
I was out there talking to him for a fucking hour about fucking life, and catching up, those relationships are still there. That's the kind of cool thing, about that golden era. We still have those fucking relationships.
Exactly.
So what else did you get from that interview with Aaron?
I mean, it was just cool to reconnect, talk about Kelly. I'm stoked to see, what they've got going on with music. Like I said during the interview, we played with him at Frankie's, and, over the years I've known Aaron, just where they got to from a band and performance perspective, like it was good. It was pro. It was what you would expect for someone that's gone through it, as long as we all have. And I feel like that's one of the things, like, we all kind of want to see is whether you're taking it serious or not, just like appearing pro and putting out good music.
Yeah.
So it was a great interview. Awesome to reconnect. We should definitely get into this debut.
We should get in this debut. And before I do it, because this is going to be the last song we're playing, and then we're getting out of here. Next week on the show, we're going to be talking to Josh Summers from Misery Lane from Flint, Michigan. We play with them out in Indiana with Casting Shadows. We're going to be talking to them for episode 115, September 12th. Unfortunately, we will not be on the air.
So when I have something going on...
Well, you do have something going on.
Yeah, but that you're not involved with. You're all salty.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't cancel the show, bro. And then we have to cancel the show because we're both doing something. It's, no big deal.
Oh, no. Or just happen to be playing a fucking show with Pop Evil and all these big-ass bands. I ain't playing a fucking Token Lounge.
I had to fucking... give you a
bro.
bit of shit.
So it's like, unless you want to somehow find a way to get from Danville, Virginia at 3:00 and get here by 7:00, make that 10-hour drive in about 4 hours, you can come do the show. I'll have Nikki let you in. I ain't gonna fucking make it.
Well, duh.
Gonna be playing Blue Ridge Rock Festival on September 12th, and then September 19th for episode number 116, where we talking, hopefully, because her show at the Machine Shop got canned for some reason. She was playing with Stabbing Westward at the Machine Shop. Gonna be talking to Josie Pace from Detroit, Michigan. September 26th, episode number 117, where we talking to Chad Valier from the band Valier out of Toronto, Ontario. They were last week's Pump It or Dump It Band of the Week. They fucking knocked it out of the park, did a great job. So we're going to be talking to them. And so we're going to get to, because I know Kevin's like, ooh, kind of want to go home. We're getting close to 10 o'clock. I know Kevin Reisler. So here it is. We had a little bit of a weird delay. Otherwise, we would have played it, or a little streaming issue earlier in the show. That's why we didn't play it then. We want to make sure to get anybody who wanted to check this out a proper chance to check it out. EVA Under Fire. They're going to be going on tour with Skillet in the next couple of weeks, I believe.
Yeah, it's coming up real quick.
And then from
Theory of a Dead Man, too.
Yep, Theory of a Dead Man, which Chris talked about on the show a couple weeks ago. So they're going to be out for the rest of the year, and I'm hearing good things happening are in the pipeline for 2022. So super cool, and go head on over and like EVA Under Fire if you haven't yet.
Oh, they're playing Arts Beats Needs as well.
Oh, they are playing Arts Beats Needs
on
Saturday. This upcoming Saturday,
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Arts Beats Needs. If you're in Metro Detroit, head on over and check out EVA Under Fire. You will hear this song. It's their new single.
They leave September 12th, by the way, for the Skillet tour.
Okay. So here it is. EVA Under Fire. I don't know how much more I can delay the excitement and the utter fear, the utter excitement, and I'm just delaying.
Jubilation.
Grab your drink, grab your nachos, or your Slim Jim and brace yourself for quite possibly the greatest 4 minutes of your life. I don't know how much more I can build this up.
Wow.
This will change your life. You know, we've heard heroin. We've heard blow. We're knocking out the drugs.
So
left and right
basically
here.
what you're saying is until you've heard this song, you've basically been comatose.
Okay. All right, we'll take it. You know, so this is a new single. Here it is. Check it out. And getting out of here. Kevin, have a great night. And
You as well, brother.
I'm going to go wallow in my sorrow. I'm actually going to feel pretty good today because we held double digits all fucking night. So we need world debuts and huge concert events every fucking week.
Oof. That's going to be tough.
Get to work, Kevin. All right, so here it is, EVA Under Fire, Comatose, closing out episode number 114 of the Rikki ROXX Show right here on ROX100.com.
Rikki ROXX, Rikki ROXX. It's Rikki ROXX, Rikki ROXX. It's Rikki ROXX, coming out of the box. Bitches come in flocks, trying to steal his jocks. He needs to be contained with padded rocks. It's the Rikki ROXX Show, spreading like the pox. Rikki ROXX, Rikki ROXX. Rikki ROXX, Rikki ROXX, yeah. Rikki ROXX, Rikki ROXX. Rikki ROXX, Rikki ROXX, yeah.
Rikki ROXX up in your grill, motherfucker.
Hey, this is Rikki ROXX, and you are listening to ROX100.com.